All right. I believe we are now live and on the internets. It is the 7th of August, year of our Lord, 2024. This is the weekly Alaboom. Ah, its drink of choice is going to be a orange 0-calorie monster. I'm still quite tired. I will need
Oh,
the
welcome home.
taurine that is in this too.
Is that the Red Bull stuff? Like, is it the same kind of flavor? Does
This
it
is
have the Red Bull
orange.
flavor? Oh, it tastes like orange. It doesn't taste like that bubblegummy kind of flavor.
No, no,
Not in there.
it's orange.
Okay.
Um, if Monster Energy would like to sponsor this show, we will gladly take any and all
Wait,
donations.
was it
Schlitz, not
no
Schlitz.
NordVPN or
Yeah,
what was the
NordVPN was the one that
NordVPN?
they never came through for me on my offer.
Ghosted you.
Well, they asked me what my rate would be, and I said a cool $1,000 a show. And they never got back to me. So,
Big surprise.
you know,
yeah.
hey, you gotta shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll wind up with the stars.
Yeah,
Or
so
out of oxygen and dead. One or the other.
gotta give me some Gen Con juice because I got almost nothing out of Gen Con. I watched
uh,
one live. So I got this pit, I follow a bunch of pinball live streamers, right? The
yeah.
most entertaining Gen Con live stream I saw from a pinballer. He was live streaming at the walking through the hall.
Uh,
Yeah, so I mean, on a strict um you okay there, Barry?
Yeah, gonna merit. Oh, he's muting. Ooh, strong.
That was a good one.
I saw the phlegm.
Um
it's rough weed today.
Smooth.
Smooth.
so
It's actually the first one I had too.
anyway,
What you
um
want?
no, so well, I'd like to first give out shout outs um Kip Liggett, Stick H, and David Callahan, all loyal members of the Alaboom, one of our mini tens that stopped by the booth and said hello to me and Anthony.
That hurts.
David Callahan was the last to stop by, so he remains Alaboom Prime. So he was briefly unseated by both
Level
Kip
prime.
and Stick H. But yes, he is Alaboom Prime, and he reclaimed that. And please note that if you attend BGG Con in the fall or possibly PAX U, you'll be able to take David's crown from him. All right, so let's see. From a strict, well, everybody knows. I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, and first thing
This is
I
before
saw,
Gen Con.
this was the Wednesday before Gen Con started.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fly in, land around noon, and then head over to the dealer hall and start setting up. I had started in the shower and I was getting ready to jump in, and then I looked at my phone. I had a text message. And I was like, "What text message? Like, why would I get a text message? That's just really weird." Because it was an emergency, you'd think somebody would call, right? But no, it was the airline letting me know that my flight um had
So
been yeah, it had been canceled and that I need to rebook.
I love that.
And so when I called, they were, I mean, admittedly I got a lady in the line, and she was very helpful. I'm like pacing around in my underwear, basically in my top floor of my house. Great image, I know. like talking to somebody, and my wife was like, "Why are you up? Who are you talking to?" Um, and but then we basically the soonest flight we could get wasn't until like 1:30. So we got in, me and my kid, we got in late. Um, which was a little, whatever. I mean, I didn't get to help set up the booth, which I guess in a way is kind of like, oh no, where? But also since I'm going to be, stuck there for, um, 8 hours a day or more, basically, because you get there early and stay there late. I want it to be a certain way. Plus, I feel bad, because everybody else basically has to pick up the stuff that me and my kid weren't able to do, and so I feel bad that like they had to do more. Of course, nobody believed me when I said that, but that's fine.
Naturally.
Uh,
I won't
so
have.
so but I got up early on Thursday morning and went over to the booth. We were allowed in at 8. Uh, for the most part, everything was kind of how I wanted. I moved a couple of things around, but then we were good to go. Thursday, as you all well know, I remember one year, maybe it was a couple, and you might remember this, Scott. I don't know if you do or not, but there were, it's usually
Terrible
just
memory.
beastly hot in the
Oh,
setup.
I'm well aware of the conditions under
Yeah.
which
But there was like one or
setup
two
day
years
is.
when like Mayfair Games, I remember, Catan and everything sponsored having the air
Oh,
conditioning
that
on.
was Wizards.
Was it Wizards?
I'm pretty
I
sure it was
thought I
Wizards.
thought it was Mayfair.
I heard it was Wizards, but whatever. It doesn't matter. A
It doesn't
sponsor was
matter.
made. A
Yeah,
sponsor was.
somebody paid the money, so the air conditioning was turned on the
I
Wednesday.
I was under the impression it was Wizards, but could be wrong. Yeah, I do. And then the next year after that, they did not sponsor. In fact, I think they pulled out of Gen Con.
Yeah, they did.
And then
Um,
no AC.
no.
And
So
I
the
remember people
problem,
like were fainting.
yeah, it was
Do you remember
insanity.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, we heard rumors of people that were like, because it was
Yeah, no,
like,
we
because for some reason it was like, 100 degrees outside with like 90% humidity, and all the loading dock doors are wide open. So,
there's
it's
no
just,
really.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no circulation. It's just stagnant in there. Anyway, the thing was, I don't, and again, it's so easy to complain or whatever with because you don't have to pay the bill, right?
No, probably
Um,
thousands of dollars for that day, the air
You could
conditioning.
pay the bill if it was built into the fee of the booth.
yeah, theoretically.
Uh,
But no, so it was um one I don't know when they turn the AC on, right? So everybody gets their thing set up. They've got the carpet rolled out, everything's good to go, and then I mean, who knows when they turn the AC on? My guess is they turn it on in the
I
morning
assume in
at
the
some
morning
point.
of.
Yeah, but
yeah.
the problem is that Thursday was again just an absolute scorcher of a day. And so, and then all of a sudden you have 70,000 people show up, and they're all, and Thursday was the busiest day of any day there. I mean, Saturday came close, and maybe they're both the same, but the number of people in there in the dealer hall was exorbitant. And there literally was like, it was just insanity. I mean, like it never got cool in there. I mean, I'm not a small human being, and I was just standing there with like a t-shirt on and shorts, and I had sweat. I'm just talking to people about games, and it wasn't just me. It was like everybody I talked to. It was like they're red faced, and people were like basically like going to. I saw people go to the bathroom, and they would like take paper towels and wet them down with cold water, and they were like tapping them on their foreheads and stuff like that because it was just so warm in there. it just never like the AC couldn't just catch up,
It couldn't
right?
keep up. Yeah. It probably didn't
Yeah,
get enough
probably.
juice to get ahead, and then it could never catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the next day
So-
was frigid, right?
Well, the next day was much better. It was much
Yeah.
better. But
So
that
it
first
probably
day
took like a
was
day. Yeah.
It takes
that
a while
first
to
day
cool that place down. Yeah.
was insanity. It was just insanity.
Oh, I remember. I remember falling out of my shoes. I had lost so much fluid
Yeah.
that
Oh,
setup day. I would because we
yeah.
were walking. I distinctly remember walking to the restaurant after the setup day, stepping up on the curb and coming out of my shoes and landing on the curb. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. I've never done that. I was like, what just happened?
That's also insane.
Crazy. Yeah. Did you get one of
So
these?
yes, I did. I actually got one for me and one for my kid. So it's pretty nice. Lincoln and Nikki
Yeah,
stopped
they were
by.
handing them out.
I didn't have to say anything. They just handed me. Yeah,
I'm
I know.
special.
I'm special. I'm
So
special.
special.
You're special, all right.
So then
Yeah, okay. So setup day, you missed it.
setup day missed.
Thankfully. Yeah,
Hey,
you still sweated your ass off, but
yeah. No, I mean
you missed a
sa
full no AC. Imagine
sales
that.
were just steady. Like
Brisk, not brisk, steady.
I mean, there was no mad rush to come and get like, last light or anything like that. But I mean, we were just selling and selling and selling and selling. It just never stopped.
Do you know who Chevy Dodd is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He did a wrap up of how their sales were. 50 a day. 50 copies a day.
Of what?
Of the AI pace
Okay.
puzzle, space puzzle game that they had. Because that
Is
was
that what they were?
that was new for them, which I didn't see any promotion about.
Yeah.
I must have went over my head somehow. I think we talked about it on the preview, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I didn't see any. It's just hard to get noticed these days. I just, I'm
Yeah.
looking for stuff,
Now, did Chevy say they had 50 or that's what they sold?
No, they brought 400, took home
No, but
200.
I mean, were they selling 50 a day or were they planning to sell more?
No. They had if you wanted to welcome and buy five, 10 copies, they'd sell them to you.
Okay.
They were not. I don't think they were limited in any way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He said they sold 200, brought home 200
Out of 4. Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, it was in that ballpark. So I'm guessing the sales. He also said Saturday was not as busy as it normally would. Like sales were flat on Saturday and where they're normally good. Was that your expectation? Is that
I mean,
was that your
so
experience?
I was trying to think, it's like, so we sold out. I mean, I don't remember how many copies we got, but we sold out of all of our Clans of Midgard, which was our new release. We sold out of all of our copies of Reavers of Midgard card game, which was our other new release. We sold out of both of those by Friday morning. We were done. Like we were like noon. We didn't have any more copies left. So we were like, we basically turned the little spot that we had one of the games set up to show as our Shane brings like all these games that are relegated to either a donation to BGG or or $5 games. And like we'll say, sometimes when people are on the fence about buying something, we'll say you can have one of these free games, because when we set up a little area, it's like $5 games, and somebody comes over and goes, "This is $5." It's like, yeah, well, I'll give you a deal. I'll give you 2 for 10. And hey, but it usually works. Then they usually buy 2. One guy said, "Can I buy 4 for 20?" And I was like, "Yeah, you bet." Just like so. Anyway,
Good math.
yeah. So we
You're good at math.
we moved all those over to that
Wait,
spot.
which game was $5?
Oh, Multi-Universum, Zoned Out, Creatures and Cupcakes, and what's the vampire game that we have? It came in a box that actually looks like a coffin. I forget what it was, but it was just kind of a press your luck vampire game. Yeah. So no, I mean, it was just like, and people were they would buy Zoned Out because it was a big box. They're like, "This is $5." Like, yeah, it's a big box. Yeah,
It should
I'll
be.
give you $5 for it. You bet. See you later.
I mean, that's why the mystery box does so well. a
But and
guaranteed $40 MSRP game, by the way.
yeah, well,
You
I mean,
wouldn't buy
like,
for $5. I mean,
yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
Yeah.
being
yeah, yeah,
honest.
yeah. I mean, you can say anything's for you. I
Yeah.
just I look at those people that buy those mystery boxes and I just shake my head because
Yeah, like what
I
you
know
just
what's going
want
to be.
quantity.
There isn't a Twilight
Yeah.
Imperium sitting in there,
No,
No.
waiting to be discovered. It
no,
just
there's
There's
doesn't
a
work
nothing
like
jab.
that.
I get jab. Got some jab. There's some
There's a
jab for you.
jab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No. So
But I
anyway,
mean, I've been watching the haul posts on the BGG Facebook group.
it's insanity.
Mountains of games. I'm like, what
Mountains.
is going on? I
So
would,
so we sold out at last light on Saturday. Um and then we sold out of, I mean, we had some of our like titles that we had just older titles that we didn't bring a lot of, but I mean we sold out of all of our Deception, we sold out of all of our
Deception's
Champions.
a good game.
It is a good game. We had some copies of For Science. We sold out through all of those. We sold out of all of our campaign trail. I mean, yeah, I mean, so it's like, I mean, we had a very, I'm not going to sit here and give numbers, but we had a very good Gen Con. Gen Con, um, it's like Shane always has the mentality of, just break even. Because
Yeah.
he's like, just
Okay.
because you get your games out there, people play them,
how big
and
is your booth?
we did way better than that. So
Yeah.
How big is your booth?
so we had a 20 by 30, however,
Ooh,
about 10 feet of 10.
that's expensive.
No. So hold on,
He's leasing it.
but it's split up into three
Oh.
sections. It's split into three sections. So Gray Fox had 110 by 20. Next Level Miniatures had 110 by 20. And Larian Studios had 110 by 20. So they were split up into three sections. I worked a booth. I was within 20 to 25 feet of Anthony the entire time, and we probably said a total of 50 words to each other while we were like there. It was crazy.
So we easily.
What was that?
I'm not logged into my
I am Chevy. Welcome
my
to my channel and to my
YouTube, and I was bringing up a video, and it's a Trump commercial.
No, yeah. No,
Why am I not logged in?
I don't know why.
probably because you had a reset or something like that.
You know what? I'm incognito because I was doing some
Yeah, really? Hmm.
board game geek stuff.
I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure.
You have
I'm
to
sure
be a
that's
different. I had to. I'm messing it with a different account.
so. No,
Sneaky
I-
McGolden.
we
It's easier for me to incognito
I know, but I
just
see what
logging
you're
out
saying.
and then logging. You know, what I mean, I got to log
Yeah.
out, log in, log out, log in.
Yeah.
Incognito, that works.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'll wrap up and then Anthony can talk about his before we talk about the interesting customers maybe either of us had. I mean, it always makes me happy when people come over and they're like, I mean, one of the, like, as far as the markup, as far as how much money we get for it, but like compared to the annoyance of it is our promos. So one of the things that we have is we have tons of promos for Deception. We have tons of promos for Champions of Midgard and a scattering of promos for like several other games. And people always come over and then Shane has a very nice book, kind of like a for lack of a better term, like a sports card book, kind of like or a book that has all your Magic cards in it, or it has all your Pokemon cards in it. But that's just to see what you have, right? And it's just and all it is a bunch of sheets. There aren't any actual cards in there. So it's
Magic cards.
yeah, no, it's like promo cards, like more monster cards for Champions of Midgard, or more clue
Okay.
cards for Deception, and people are like, yeah, it's like, what kind of promos do you have? And so so you bring them over and you start showing them all the different promos that you have and strangely, it was weird. Like usually you get a lot of people that want Deception promos, but like this time it was just Champions of Midgard. I need Champions of Midgard promos. I mean Midgard promos. And so then you have to dig through this system and like find all these cards to show, and there's like, oh yeah, here's 9 different cards that you can add to Champions of Midgard, and they're like, oh, when were these released? How I don't know which ones I have and which ones I don't. Now there are some people that use this website. I don't know if you've heard about it, but Board Game Geek that has all this
That
stuff
shit.
that they add it to their collection, and then they're able to tell whether or not they have it. But then
That's too much work.
and so it's like one of the things
It
is
is.
but you charge like $5 a promo. So here's they're buying a card that literally cost Shane 3 cents to print, and they're buying it for $5. And so he loves these things because the markup on them is so great. I mean, admittedly, you have to sell a ton of them to actually make any real money, but but the time of like going through each thing and then having them just having this kind of glut of this person sitting there going through everything there, it was kind of a pain in the butt. Same thing can be said for those $5 games. So they're like, "What is this game about?" I was like, "It's a $5 game. I really can't."
Does
I
the
don't- I
board
don't-
fold out?
Yeah, does the board fold? Does the
I
I
board
know
fold?
exactly what you're talking about, and I've been here for
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Yeah. There was a very nice lady who came over, and my daughter was I was showing how Last Light is played. I must have shown how Last Light was played like 1,000 times. And it's so crazy. Like you think like Last Light, oh, it's like we've run 2 crowdfunding campaigns. It's raised over like $1.4 million in crowdfunding. It's you want to be able to like say, it's like it's a big freaking deal. I probably talked to most people who said, I have no idea what this game is. What
Yeah.
does this game look like? We set it up with all the bells and whistles and made it look nice, and people are like,
There are
I've never
333 million people in the United States. You raised $1 million. There's no way you even scratched the surface of what
but
the
each of them
population.
each of them gave me 30 cents though. So that's why I
Oh,
think
okay, well, there you go.
that
You
like
think everybody
Yeah,
knows about this
yeah.
game?
Well, no, it was just one of those things where it's like, it's like which, and admittedly I'm tooting my horn here a little bit, but I mean it's like
No.
for like a little brief window, we were a big deal, right? I mean, it was like everybody was
Kind of a big
talking about
deal.
the game.
Kind
And
of.
and now people have moved on to other shiny, right? I mean, that's just what happens. But there was you kind of like have this weird attitude of like, well, how do you not know what this game is? I mean, like people are like one of the ways we sold a ton of After the Empire, which way to go, Evan, way to go
Oh,
us.
baby.
But I mean, why? Because you set it up and you all of a sudden they see these little castles.
Yes.
And they see there's these little army men in there, and they're like, what is this? This looks cool. And then you explain the game, and it's like it's actually pretty simple, and like you're just defending your castle against invaders and whatever. And they get super excited about it. And but they see it, and then you explain, even if it's got $100 price tag, they're like, and that was the other thing too, where people just wanted to spend money. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
it was like they were, this, I'm not going to talk politically about the economy or anything like that.
I was about to say something.
But
I'm
I'm
not.
not going to talk. But people
Mhm.
were desperate to spend money. I mean, it was just like, I mean, there was a guy who came up. I mean, but it was the same way last year too. It was the same way last year. I don't think it's the last hurrah. People, I don't know. It's an incredibly small sample size, and it's apocryphal data at best. But I mean, this has been the case at Gen Con last year. It was the case at Origins this year, and it was the case at Gen Con this year. It was like people showed up and people had money and people were excited to spend it. And that was how it was. And
Apocryphal indeed.
yes, so it's a situation where people were, I mean, I had a guy, I mean, and it was just like, and I'm sure Anthony has more than enough of these stories as well, but I had a guy show up and he was like, what's Rivers of Midgard? And this is like a 6-year-old game, so he doesn't know anything. So I explained it to him and he's like, that sounds really fun. I want one of those. What's Last Light? Explain it to him. I definitely want an all-in for that. And what's this After the Empire? You know what? That just looks cool. I'll take it. Guy handed over like 600. Guy handed over like 600 some bucks without a blink. Cash. He reached into his pocket, pulled out an envelope that he freshly got from a bank, just handed over the money. Like it was
Filthy
nothing.
lucre.
Randy Moss style.
Yeah, totally. And then it was just like,
The guy I watched stream every single he bought a game. someone caught his eye. Give me your. He was doing these 2 minute. Give me your 2 minute pitches, and he would
Yeah.
always buy. He bought all of them, and I
Yeah.
was watching him for a few hours.
So, I mean, um, and again, I don't know this data for sure 100%, but I know that Leader Games brought a bajillion copies of Arcs, and they sold a bajillion copies of
Bajillion
Arcs.
copies of Arcs.
The arcs
Yes.
is everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I am a proud owner of one of those bajillion copies.
Did
of
you get it?
Arcs.
Oh, you
I
went.
I
you didn't
went
do a
over. I
trade?
went over one morning. No, I just went over one morning, and I said hi to Patrick and
Did you
and
buy
talk.
the all in
talk-
thing, or did you buy?
Yeah,
The,
I just it was like I think it was $100, and you got everything, and it was just. And I talked to him for a little bit, and I said, "You got the bell of the ball," and he was suitably embarrassed by his success because he's very Minnesotan, and then he.
I think he actually brought more copies in.
1 second. Hey, you know you have to pick up your
Yeah.
brother, right? Okay.
oh, like the next day.
Lance, I think he brought more copies in on Saturday.
Well, I would doubt it. I know that so here's the weird thing. And I'm not judging anybody for anything, right?
Right.
But
You're not.
no. I mean, like, so people were buying Gnome Hollow like crazy, right? And
Oh, yeah, that
way
was-
to go, Amon. I mean, I'm happy for him. The guy seems to be
I'm
a nice guy.
stunned at how well off. I mean, I just don't get it.
Brilliant
Like,
marketing, by the way.
I'm just like, where did that come from? Because it was on my radar a few times, and then I played it, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah,
And they
it's-
just sold. They couldn't. They
There are a
couldn't
lot
sell
of very
enough of it.
upset people today, though.
There
Does it
is
look
like
good, Scott?
the game
is
is-
a good looking game.
I played it on BGA, and it was busted.
Ah.
So I'm like, I'm only giving you my half turn. Like
Right,
this is
right.
not a review, but it's my.
I
impression.
think the game is solid.
Okay.
I mean, I think it. I
Not
mean,
my
it's,
kind of game.
it's no, it's not
I
your
like.
type of
There's
game.
many other path games I think I would like more.
The game is solid, and it's and op or the op or whatever you want to call it, or the op or whatever, formerly known as USAopoly.
It's the op.
They I always think of like Ocean Pacific when I see that. You know, the
It's-
old
me too.
It's up.
Were those
The
were those
Opoly.
in eighth grade? Like
Oh yeah, the
10 or
shorts and the
15
t-shirts,
Ocean
man.
Pacific.
Oh, they were the best.
Shirts.
But anyway,
Yeah, that game caught fire, and I just don't understand it. Like I always
Well-
think I can understand how games catch fire, but I just don't understand that one.
I have a lot of theories on that one. I mean, when he showed up with the game at Gamma, not this year but last year, he was showing it off people, and basically people were getting in line begging him, basically to
Man, I just
let
don't
them
see
play
it.
in the game.
Well, me personally, just my style of game.
Who knows? I mean, it's
It,
just
it
well,
doesn't do
whatever. I
anything
mean,
for me.
But they did a really good job marketing it. They actually brought in more copies on Saturday because they were running out. I mean, the thing is that if people look, they could have gone to Barnes and Noble and gotten it. They didn't have to wait in line all day. But you're at Gen Con to spend money, so I mean,
Of course, and if
Put
you
that
see
with
everybody
any one
else
of your
buying
games,
something,
too.
it's sort of like, what am I missing out on?
yeah. But the thing about that what's unfortunate, that I remember and this is not me trying to brag, but he came over so he actually had a really good conversation with Shane, and then not like this Gen Con, but last Gen Con, he came over and he was talking to Shane and Shane was like, he said, publish it yourself. He said, everybody in the world was talking, because last year, everybody was in the world was talking about it. He's like, publish it yourself, make a ton of money, and then sell it to somebody. And then, because then you make all the money yourself. And he said, and then you get somebody you trust to handle like the logistics of the shipping. And he said, I can do that for you. But he said, if you don't want us to do it, then talk to Quartermaster. Or whatever. Just talk to a company that'll handle all but other than that, and he just didn't want to do it. Which fine,
I was just
and-
hoping for more gnome type things in the game.
Well,
It's
there's
very
all kinds
abstract.
of weird mushroom and gnome
It's
stuff.
so
Remember,
abstract, but it,
it was
doesn't mean anything.
dwarves. It was dwarves 3-4 years ago. Everybody
I know,
wanted to make a game about dwarves.
It's just stunning to me. I mean, congratulations to him, but I mean, it has nothing to do with gnomes, in my opinion.
It's fine.
There's no magicalness to it.
So
Like, I want
that
some
was
magic.
a bell at the ball.
Yeah.
Arx was the bell at the ball.
For sure.
Um,
Which is a heavy duty, intense war game with a lot of conflict,
yeah.
which I feel like is not a real. I mean, people
Um,
love people love that, I guess.
Cosmos gangs
The
Yeah.
gang.
Yep, that
gang
was
or
one.
whatever. That was a bell at the ball. Like they
Windmill
had limited
Valley?
copies. Which
The one from Boards and Dice. The
Well,
Windmill
yeah.
League. They actually brought more
A
copies.
windmill, Windmill
Saturday.
Valley, Windmill Valley.
So Comic Hunters had a giant line every day. And I got in line on the last day and I was like, do I want this or do I
It's
and
a
I'm just gonna
it's
say
a
this.
mass market game that they were
So-
selling only 50 copies a day or something like that.
But here
Really?
I was in line to get it, and then I was able to look at a copy when I was looking at it. And yeah, okay, the cards look cool because it was like, oh, yeah, so I picked up a stack of the cards. And I was looking through and I was seeing all the classic
Yeah,
old
they had all
comic
the
book
comics.
covers, and I thought that
Yeah.
those look really cool. But then I looked at all the other components, and the game looked like dog shit. in
It's
my
a
opinion.
it's a $30 game. It's a mass market game you buy in Target and
And supposedly the cards aren't very good quality because people who bought it were telling people make sure you sleeve your cards because my cards are already fraying on them.
shredded.
Well, yeah, and then all
But
of
they
the
only had 100 or 50, 100 copies a day or something like that.
yeah,
So
and
they had an
the tokens make the old school Aaliyah cardboard look thick in that thing.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
it's a $30
is.
game, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
less.
Well, and
Get it
then
right, yeah.
most of that money I think was spent on licensing for all those
Of course.
all those
Probably,
comics.
yeah.
Well, they had the license already.
Well, whatever.
Spin Master.
Yeah.
They had,
Yeah.
Spin Master did Marvel United, teamed up with
Yeah.
Simon from Marvel United, all that stuff.
I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I mean, don't make a lot of money.
I'm
I hope
getting
they
a
sell
copy.
a million
I
copies.
actually asked them. I asked Lincoln to bring me home a copy, and they stood in line and did it all. I didn't realize they were limiting the copies because I'm like, this game is million. They're making millions of these. Like, how is this limited?
Hmm.
Anyway, whatever.
I went and checked out that Age of Contrived game.
That thing was insanely overproduced for the Kickstarter stuff.
Go watch the Dice
Oh.
Tower video.
Yeah, the Kickstarter version where like
Or, I mean,
basically things are
Dice Tower.
spring loaded and just like everything was set up. The designer used to work at Panda, so he knows how to make production, what can and can't be done. Very nice dude.
They had a very weird selling model, though.
What was the selling model?
So in the booth every day, they had this huge stack of games. And they had the game laid out, and they had the regular version and the Kickstarter version on the table. They didn't have the Kickstarter version there, but they had a QR code to order it from them. And that stack did not go down very far every day. So if people bought them, they all bought the Kickstarter version, so they lugged all those copies there and lugged most of them back home.
Interesting. Is that like when you sell like a medium drink for like 75 cents and you sell a large for like 80 cents? You know, that's that sales tactic, or like $1, it's like $1 and an extra large is like $1.25. And even it's like twice as much. I'm just wondering if it was that kind of tactic.
No, I just think they thought that the price on the Kickstarter one that people weren't
it was too high. They weren't going to
wouldn't
buy
be
it
paying it because the game itself was $85, I think. And then
For
they
the
had an
base?
expansion that was another 15 or 20. Like the regular edition, I mean, the components were nice and everything. But like
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
saying,
the game looks beautiful. It caught my eye, and I looked at a review, and I was like, and then I think the game was not for me. You know, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to really enjoy this game because I wanted a copy too.
Bummer.
so talking about your people, coming up and seeing the thing, and within the first 5 minutes, we opened after they opened, someone was just walking by. They weren't planning on stopping, saw the sign and saw the minis for the game, stopped. I talked to them for 5 minutes about the game, and they're like, I make one big purchase, and usually I walk around on the side, but here, I'll take it all in. And I was like, no problem. I will hold it here for you too, so you don't have to carry it around.
Did you
So
have
much
stock
shopping.
of did you have stock of can't think of the name of that game. Delarian.
Divinity.
What?
We sold out of base game
Divinity.
Friday
Right,
morning.
which is this big, right?
Yes. I have my copy right here behind me.
It's so ridiculously
We
large.
sold out at 11:59 on Friday.
How many copies did you bring?
Not enough.
Like more than 100?
Not enough.
Okay. I mean, I don't. You can only get like 30 of those on a pallet.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
maybe more, maybe 40 on a pallet.
it's not that big.
It's that one box is per like you have to stack that on a pallet. You can only fit like 30 of or 40 of them on a pallet. Because it comes in another box, right? Or did you
Yes, it
did you
comes
have
in
them
its own
loose?
box.
Yeah, there's another box, and I received the Kickstarter. I know
Yeah,
what it, how it
and the
comes.
thing is with the Gen Con bullshit.
Did you have any all-ins?
That you can't have
Like
any
the all-in
cardboard
is just
showing.
like unreal.
Yeah, because you can't have any cardboard showing. So we actually had to unpack them
Oh, the cardboard
from
plain
the cardboard boxes to put them out,
Right, I see what you're
which was a pain in the ass. But
saying. That's great. By the way, H Contrived was 4 and 4 and 5 on the Dice Tower review. So 3 of them, whoever the 3 people were not happy with that game.
So he showed me how to play the game is played, and I was like, okay. And then I kind of like watched it, and it did look. This is again, what the hell do I
Yeah.
know? I
This
didn't
is
play
what
the game,
Your
so I don't
first
want to.
impressions.
I don't want to. I hate being a publisher and
Hey,
saying anything
there-
about any
No,
games.
don't then yeah, don't give an impression then.
But no, I mean, I just
He will.
it looked fiddly. It looked really fiddly. It might be a great game, but it looked really fiddly. And the guy that designed it,
It looks amazing.
super nice.
Yeah, of course. Nobody's yeah, I mean, come on. Everybody does these with the best intentions and make great games.
Intentions.
can I tell my greatest purchase story?
Yeah.
The greatest purchase?
So Scott, when last time you were there at Gen Con, did you go to the game store up the street?
No. I didn't
Okay.
even know there was a game store there.
The Good Games has a store in Indy. And I go, like last time I was there was a few years ago, but I went because they do a 50% off sale for stuff. Like they have a bunch of stores, and I think what they do is they have this other stores send stock there, and they put it on the shelf, and it's 50% off Red Dot sale. And it's hit or miss what's on there. So we're walking by there, and it's on. The show hasn't even opened yet. It's Wednesday after setup, and walking with my friend Art, and we walk by, and they got Pampero in the window, and a couple other games that were being released at Gen Con. So Art goes, "Oh, they got Pampero." It's Ape from Ape.
Yeah.
So he goes in. I'm smoking a cigarette. I said, "Just find out how much they're charging for it here." So he mimes out the window to me, 105. Now I know it's $120 MSRP that game. So I'm like, okay, that's a good price. And then he's walking around. He's showing me they had both expansions also. So anyway, I'm still standing there, and he comes out. And I said, "Well, how much were the expansions?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't look." Just then, like one of the guys who works in the store is walking in, and I said, "Excuse me." I said, "You have Pampero in the expansions. Do you know what how much the expansions are going for?" And he's like, "I don't know, but let me give you a hack." I was like, "What does that mean?" He goes, "Pampero is on the 50%
Right
off
back.
sale." Because we only found out because someone came to buy one and it rang up for half off. And we had to call the corporate office to make sure it wasn't a mistake.
Oh.
I walked right into the store.
But
I bought a copy, and my friend Art bought the last copy they had. But we kept going back. He had seen
I'm guessing these were mistakes.
no.
Why what? It just came out.
That
That's
that
a mistake, right?
no, they that was on purpose. They purposely did it. They
Oh, so
called
it was
to
like a
ask
loss
if it was
leader.
added by accident. So then while we were there, our Art was talking to someone about the game Arborera from
Barbarera?
Arborera.
Arborera. I don't know that game.
Was it Alley Cat? I don't know. So he's looking at it and he was thinking about it. He goes, well, maybe if they have it in the booth, I'll go get it. We came back, we went back the next day. It was on the 50% off rack the next day.
There's got to be a mistake.
No.
I mean, it's $120 on Miniature Market right now.
Yeah. They put Root.
Not Arborera, but I don't know. You know, I'm looking at.
They put copies of Root on the 50% off thing. They put
Wait, what company is this?
it's Good Games.
Good Games.
They had he bought the Marvel Zombie game, the Simon one for half price. We went back every single day because they kept changing what was on the 50% off rack.
Oh, Arborea.
Arborea, that's the one.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
But like it was so it was amazing.
Oh, okay. Well,
Again, it wasn't just
I
like
mean, honestly, if they're selling to you for 50, that's probably what they paid for it, right? So it's like they're just trying to clear the stocks.
Yeah.
the game just came out.
You know how the
Do they know
board game
something?
market is.
Is there a review?
Of Pantera?
Reviews? Yeah.
I've watched a few things on it. I'm so excited to play it.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, there are so many reviews.
But we bought 2 copies for less than 1 copy was selling for at the convention. Insanity.
Pure insanity.
Crazy.
Pure lunacy. Well, it's sad. I mean, from afar, it just looked like it was just jammed. Like the hot games room sold out at noon
Really?
on Friday or Saturday, not Friday. Saturday is sold out at like 3 p.m., which is never has done that before. And then on Saturday, it was sold
One
out at
second.
noon, which is not
It-
expected.
It felt super busy. Like I literally, at a lot of points, just felt like a car, like waiting to turn. Like, oh,
Yeah, the streamer I watched walk through the hall was just
So
Yeah.
let me ask Forrest, I'll ask you. How did Saturday feel?
I didn't really see it much. I was in the same place a lot Saturday.
Because like everyone was saying how less busy it felt on Saturday than usual. And I was like, well, because Thursday and Friday were both sold out also. And a lot of those people who ended up going Thursday and Friday last minute only got a day pass. So there were more people in there to shopping the entire time because that's all they could do. That's the only day they could shop. So Saturday was probably just as busy as it always is. It just didn't feel that way because
didn't feel it because Thursday and Friday were overpacked.
were
Yeah.
just as
Yeah.
big.
So 71,000 was the same, almost the same number as they published in 2019. 2019 they said 70,000.
Yeah. So 71,000.
So there was 71,000. So it's only losing a little bit bigger. I mean, it's not. I mean, it was like, oh my god, it's so basic. Like it's the same, but like a little bit bigger.
Well,
You
now
gotta
we know-
always
now we know-
constantly. How do you
now
go?
we know what the
selling
cap
out?
is though.
Yeah, the 71,000, right?
Until they expand something, but that's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll figure out a way to expand.
So I heard the open gaming room at JW was packed a lot.
Oh, it was. It was
And
real
like,
busy.
People are like, if they need to expand that and like put it somewhere else. I said, well, I walked.
Where?
It's in the JW.
I mean,
no,
they have
I didn't.
do you have a ballroom there, or was it just an open?
They have a huge ballroom in the back of the JW.
and that's open gaming.
That's open gaming, and they started that like at least 5 years ago because I went. But the thing with it is there were a lot less people gaming in the event hall. Like after the events ended and tables were just open, I noticed a ton of empty tables, like not like in years past.
Right.
So people either just gave up on the whole idea of making sure that there was no more events happening, or just went to the open gaming hall early and just stuck around there all day.
Gotcha.
Lucas Oil was very not busy. Because we walked over there so I could show Art Lucas Oil so he could be in Lucas Oil for the first time in his life and whatever. But very.
It was normally in Lucas Oil, right?
So Lucas Oil, the entire field
Yeah.
is full of tables. The
Just-
game library is in Lucas Oil Stadium,
Oh, okay.
and like they have events over there. But
Yeah, it's where they have the library too, right? The Gen Con
yeah, it's where they have the library there. But it's just very, very
Yeah,
sparse
it
compared
didn't feel
to
very
years
busy.
past. There were probably as many people sitting in Lucas Oil eating their food that they got at the food trucks than playing games.
Playing games. Yeah.
The hottest thing at Lucas Oil Stadium was that's where they were selling the D&D stamps.
D&D game. By the way, I bought D&D stamps on UPSPS.com. Took me 1 minute. I didn't have to wait any lines. I thought they were not, or they were, I guess they weren't exclusive to Gen Con.
No, I think at Gen Con you could get them the first day cover stamp with the Gen Con Indianapolis
I see.
2024 on it. I
Got it.
think that's
That's probably
usually
an
a thing they
exclusive.
do.
Yeah.
But
I bought 2 books
two
So-
books of stamps.
on USPS.com. And then I bought the postcards.
Did you buy the sheet?
Yeah.
No,
No, it's just a book. No, the book.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's only one thing to buy. It's just a book of all the stamps. As
Okay,
one.
then you didn't get the thing you can get at Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then
So
that's
it comes
probably-
on like a sheet.
Yeah.
It's one of each stamp.
I
And
got that.
like
Oh no, I didn't get that. If
Yeah.
there was any kind of Gen Con, no, it was just what you call it.
there's like
I
a
mean,
postcard looking size thing in the corner, and there's one of each stamp on it.
okay.
So like if you ever go to remember, I didn't go to the post office in years probably, but they used to have them like framed on the wall, like whatever the collector's ones
Sure.
they had were.
Right. Yeah, you
That's
can buy a
what-
collector's version of it.
Right,
I
that's
just got
that thing.
I just got whatever you can buy on USPS.com.
Yeah, the stamps themselves anyone could buy. It's that sheet that they had there that you have to ask for at the post office if they have them.
I assume it's got a nice little package. I mean, it looks like a nice package actually. I'll do a screenshot real quick.
So Lance, did Karen show you his braggart gift?
What now?
Someone gave him a copy of the handbook, the player handbook, as a gift. He's like, I got my one item, and I didn't have to pay for it. Someone gave it to me as a gift.
Was it this?
Yes.
$14.60. And then I also bought the postcards,
Okay. All right. So you did get the thing.
which is
You got the
kind of
thing.
nice actually.
Yeah.
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 And I guess you can buy field notes game books, which I don't care about that.
What the hell's in the field?
I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's encounters. Cool.
Ah,
There you go.
With the stamps, I guess. Dream up your next adventure with these special edition notebooks specifically formatted
Yeah.
with empty charts and tables for fantasy role playing. The set includes 3 character journals, 1 monster encounter journal, and 1 master game journal.
only
Ooh.
$50.
$50. Oh, there's 5 of them. Wait, it didn't say there's 3?
There's
Oh.
3 red ones in the picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
see.
says set of
There's 3
5.
of these, one of
Yeah.
these, and one of these. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, that was not there when I bought these. I got the note cards and the stamps. Cool.
So you're saying people are just there to shop, not play, right? For the most
No,
part?
there were plenty of people
Mhm.
playing.
Oh, the high games room was
Just not in the convention area. They're out in the hotels.
Oh yeah. They probably wanted like a cooler place, like a hotel or something.
Well, I think
Yeah.
in the past that events went so late that people were like, I got to go around and ask someone for a table, but there's this empty open gaming room,
Yeah.
and everyone had the same idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there were a few booths that I missed, meaning that
You wanted to go, but you didn't.
no. I don't think that I didn't see them. I walked around, didn't see them. So
Yeah.
the Lance, unless maybe you saw it and I missed it totally. the booth traditionally that had all of the really old RPG books?
Which one?
The one that had like it used to be like 2 rows of
yeah, the Cubicle 7, not Cubicle 7. I forget what they're called, but yeah. Asheron games or something like that. I don't
something
know.
like that. It's just bookshelves full of
Well, and because it's basically they host all the little tiny publishers that they can't have a booth. It's kind of like Indie Press Alliance or like or Wet Ink games or things like that, where they it's like they sell all the Shadowrun books. Well, not Shadowrun books. I'm sorry. They sell like the Paranoia books. They say Fate of the Norns. They sell um Cthulhu, Octum Cthulhu. Like they basically all the stuff that they can't afford or don't want to go have a booth. Um.
yeah, but
Uh.
that what I'm talking about used to have like the old L5R RPG books and like it was
Yeah.
just stuff that's all out of print that nobody wants.
Oh yeah.
You'd go in there and you pay like $3, $5 a book, and the guy with the 10,000 tubs of like miniature parts. I didn't see that guy either.
No. Um.
Did you guys get any good food truck food?
Nah, I went to Steak and Shake once, and then Super
Okay,
Secret Subway
what's
a
the
lot.
steak and shake verdict?
Oh, it was good.
Sucks.
It was really good.
Okay.
I mean, it was. I really
Was it
enjoyed
the fast food version or was it the wait with a waiter?
No, they you just do it on a kiosk, and then they yell your
Okay.
name, and you come and get
Yeah,
it. But I
was the-
mean,
it was the-
Ramble
it was
ding
the fast-
dong. I got a burger and fries for Johnny.
that guy was annoying. But
Rambo.
Keep himself interested.
So we found out why we figured out why the food is good at that one. Because the corporate office is down the street. And they actually
reason.
own that one, and it's a training facility also. So that's why when you go there are like six guys in ties.
Yeah.
So the managers and the manager trainees, and they're on top of that place.
Usually are there. I went to Wawa's training center once years ago to learn how to make a hoagie. It's the same setup. Oh, she's killing me with this here.
So it's food trucks. The Pastelito truck was amazing.
Pastelito?
The what?
Pastelitos.
Pastelito? Is that like Mexican
So
Italian?
so they sell pastelito and like these empanadas. So the empanada thing comes in a corn flour shell and looks like your typical empanada. Pastelitos come in a wheat shell and they're like crispier. And those were round and like, oh my God, so good. The funny thing about it though is no one in the truck spoke English.
How did you communicate?
You just point.
Oh. And then the numbers obviously are
You point, and then if you had a question, the girl literally leaned out the window and had you speak into her phone, and it would translate.
Google Translate. Hey, we're living in the future, man. We should. I'm all for it. I'm all for. By the way, every driver I talk to on DoorDash, Spanish speaking. It'll say translated from Spanish. So they're typing in Spanish, I'm typing in English, and it's translating back and forth.
I did that in China a whole bunch. It was really amazing.
But that
Yeah,
was good.
Devilfish.
I had a cheesesteak that was pretty good. I had a crawfish po' boy that was okay, but I liked the old Cajun truck that used to be there. Because it seemed like you didn't wait very long for food, but it didn't seem like anything was made when you ordered it.
Or just reheating.
Like okay, the pastelitos were made fresh, but they pretty much take like 2 minutes to fry them.
Man.
But I will tell you that nada, the Mexican food, is amazing.
Yeah, someone else told me that too.
Amazing. I had
Gosh,
these
now I'm curious about it.
seafood enchiladas in like this white Mexican cheese sauce. Oh my God, they were so freaking good.
Nada. That means nothing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Zero.
restaurant's called Nothing. Interesting name.
That
Did
was
you guys
really
get to play
good.
anything?
I did
Just
not
go to
play a
bed.
single. I
Played the
did not
bed
play a
game?
single
I
game.
played.
You
I
went.
played. I played Call of Cthulhu. It was fun. I ran a game.
Oh, okay.
3 people got killed. 1 person was permanently insane. Everybody had fun.
Mission
Nice day.
accomplished.
Yeah.
You ran it?
Yeah.
Or someone else? Okay.
So that was fun.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, Forrest.
Yeah.
Next time we're both at a convention, we're gonna have a duel of gaming bags because I think the gaming bag I got is better than the one you were raving about.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I don't even remember the name of the company now. Hold on. It's an awesome bag though.
I saw a couple nice ones as I was walking around.
Did you see the ones that were like right near our booth?
Yeah.
Those ones that came like different colors and had
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
they fit on the rolling rack. They have a rolling cart for it. That's the one I got.
That's nice.
Are backpacks allowed at Gen Con?
Oh, yeah.
Backpack? Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Backpacks, rolling carts. Oh, Jenna's here.
Jesus.
Rolling suitcases.
Yes. Hey, Jenna.
I don't think the audio and all that.
Jenna, you made
Hey,
it.
Jenna.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yup.
Yes.
Excellent. How is everyone tonight?
Very good. Thank you for the book.
Dude.
I'm on like chapter 7 or 8. It's very good.
My wife is reading it right now.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for reading it.
But we're discussing our Gen Con
Post Gen Con
experience.
decompression.
Yeah, no. So how was Gen Con for you?
For me,
Yeah.
oh, it was wonderful. I made it so I had 0 meetings, but 1 lunch meeting with Panda. And I got to introduce my girlfriend to Gen Con. She's never been to any of these before. We did
Why?
not as
Why
well.
Gen Con first? Why Gen Con first?
No, it was not Gen Con was the first thing. The first time she's been to a Gen Con.
Oh, okay.
So no, the first was a trip to Maine. This was something to follow. But yeah, we did very well. Got a lot of nice response to the new game, and came out almost as well as last year, but which is actually we actually did better because we had lower priced products to come out about the same revenue. So that was pretty good. How are you
Score.
guys?
Or
So Jen and Lance was saying he thought Thursday was busier than Saturday, or it might be a tie.
Saturday
what do you
was
think?
Saturday was like a Sunday this year.
I wonder why.
It was I really thought it was really a pretty slow day. And I think I mentioned this to a couple of you guys, but my sense was that the average age of the attendees seemed older this year than previous years.
let me think. Let me just kind of go through.
I definitely saw a lot more 30-year-olds than 20-year-olds.
Yes, I would agree with that. And there was a lot of couples too, like more than I remember. Usually it's like, it's like a lot of married couples shopping together, looking to add to their collections and things like that. Not a lot of teenage kids.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Not a lot
weren't
of teenage kids,
teenagers.
but you know, some smaller children or whatever. But yeah,
There's
I'd agree with that assessment,
What's the
Kenna.
Yeah, there
boarding
didn't seem to
badge
be
price?
there didn't seem to be a lot of kids in like the 12 to 14 age either.
Do they do like a different badge for kids or no?
No, same badge for kids.
Yeah, so 10
Always
and
been
10 and
that- it's
younger, they
always been
don't
that
need a
way?
badge, but everybody else needs a regular badge.
Interesting. But do you have to get a badge if they're 10 and under? Like, you know what I mean? Just to keep.
No, you can
No?
get, you guys get a bracelet.
But you could just
I
show
didn't
up.
even know that. I didn't know that.
You could just show up though. You don't need
So,
to pay
so,
it.
so they ask that you request a badge, a bracelet ahead of time, but you technically can pick up a bracelet for your kid, and everyone needs one, even if like you're like a week old.
Right.
So ask me what my favorite part of John Con was this year.
My hug.
That's your
Yes,
favorite.
I was gonna say seeing Anthony in person after ages was my favorite part of John Con this year. 100%.
Okay, good.
I have nothing to follow that up with. I'm tapped.
No, okay, what was it?
That was it. No, that
Really?
wasn't.
Get
Yeah.
out of here.
That's why I said I got nothing to follow it up with.
It was great.
to
It was
play
great
anything?
seeing you and having some time to talk with you.
Yeah, it was.
In years past, when I was there, you were never in your booth, or when you were, you would just mob with people, and I would like wave at you in passing.
Yeah, I had a lot of help this year, which is really lovely. I really did have a lot of help. And I've been renting out a 10 by 30 every year and selling a 10-foot section to my friend Jay for his business. So he's just starting the gaming business. So that's been nice.
Did you, I mean, and you don't have to give me numbers, but financially, was it because ours, I'll just say like, this was like probably the best, financially, this is probably the best year we've had in 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah.
So
Our best year was last year, and we're at about 89 to 90% of last year.
got it.
I think this just because there was a lot of stuff there this year.
Go.
You know, we had like 100 extra games than we had last year.
100 extra games where?
So in the hot games room submitted to us. We had 500 games submitted. Last year we had 400 games submitted.
Did you
Wow.
take
That's
all
crazy.
the games that were submitted?
Yeah.
Then why ask for submissions? I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Well, the way it was sent to me was I got the notification through Flat River Games. It
Okay.
came and it made it seem like it's a big deal and you're really selective and get it in now and all this business like this. Is that just your clever marketing?
We basically say, do you want to have your game featured in the hot games room?
Okay.
If you want to have it there to be played, and then we track who collects it and plays it and all that stuff. So I think you're on the list pretty high up.
Can you tell me how Murray did?
Of course. Of course, I say that now, and if I don't have the number back it up, like,
Because I had at least 2 people come to my booth and say they played it in the hot games room, and that's
well,
why
there you
I
go.
bought it.
Oh my god, my monitor is blazing my eyes out. Hold on, I gotta lower the brightness. Murray. It was not checked out that many times, unfortunately. It
Wow.
says 6.
That's it?
Small.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was like a bigger box, it would have made it more. You know,
Well,
because when I saw the picture of the box, I was like, oh, it's. I didn't have it in scale with other things to note. Like is it like
Yeah.
this?
yeah.
It's like a card game that could
It
get
is.
lost on the table. Honestly,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Well, at least you got me 2 people, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Good conversion rate.
and
It's just-
it goes to the BGD library. So I mean, it's not like it just disappears. Yeah,
Yeah.
you-
All I know,
Play it at
Jenna,
BGG.
it makes you feel better. All I know is they came and picked up stuff from me and wasn't even in the hot games room.
Yeah. Oh.
What was it in the hot games room?
No, they came to pick up the expansions to put
Oh,
in
okay.
the BGG library.
To take back to Dallas.
Yeah,
we.
because
I thought we talked to. Did we not bring a copy? I thought we brought a copy.
no, that wasn't in there. It's all right.
When I delve things, sometimes it's just like if we ask for an expansion and when we don't have the game, like it just makes me
I
wonder.
know
Like,
we know where it's eventually ending up, so that's
yeah,
fine.
it's not going into nowhere.
It's gonna get
But
played at BGG Con.
hopefully, yeah. Sometimes the zealousness of getting everything is conflicts with common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you wanted to just ship it, it could have been fine. Like that. Anyway, whatever.
Well,
Anyway, we appreciate all submissions. Believe me, I don't take anything for granted. I want to.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
I was just going to say we're really lucky that so it was a really interesting situation with manufacturing in China this year. So I had a shipment with the new printing of Cosmic Frog and all the card expansions coming. And it was finished 2 weeks before Murray was finished in production. And so to make sure it came to Gen Con, I had them shipped out. I had it shipped out as soon as it was ready. And I had 6 cases of Murray held back in China for air shipping in case the boat didn't make it. So they said for Murray, we've got a choice. You got a slow boat and a fast boat. And it's like an extra grand or something for the fast boat, and it might make it there in time. So like, okay, fine. Pay for the fast boat. So I get a note from Flat River Group, no, from Ford Pointer that yes, your shipment is here. It's Cosmic Frog stuff, da da da. It's on its way to Flat River. Looks like there's plenty of time to get it there. So I'm waiting for verification that it's sent to my house because Fern fucked everyone over on the cost to get shit to your booth this year. So I'm waiting for it to come. I hear nothing about Murray. All of a sudden, Murray shows up at my house 4 days before this other shipment that got in 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Murray showed up in the United States. I have no idea how this is going on. So we managed
This
to
was
get
this was the fast boat.
that was the fast boat, but it still came in 3 weeks after
The other slow
the
boat.
other product was on, and I got Murray shipped to my house from the same warehouse
Interesting.
4 days earlier with no notification it even arrived in the States. So anyway, knock on wood, it all worked out fine. But Ford Pointer fucked everyone over this. Not Ford Pointer, Fern in the convention center.
What happened with that Vern?
So it used to be even last year that I could call Flat River and say, I'd like all these cases delivered to my booth, and they'd be there when I show up for setup. Now that's not allowed anymore. They have to deliver them to the loading dock. And you have to pay Fern to move them from the loading dock to your booth,
which is huge.
$700 to get it to Fern, and Fern wanted $1.13 a pound to get it to my booth.
A pound? Wow.
A pound.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had over 800 pounds of product.
Hey.
Yeah.
Gotta mute myself for just a quick second, guys.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying Murray.
I hope you really enjoy it. I really do. And
I've heard a lot of buzz on just the list. People want to. Everybody's like the game I'm most anticipating. Murray's up on the list. I 100% have heard that.
Well, we got a really nice little video overview of it by Candace.
Okay.
And is it
right?
Drew? Is Drew the name of your camera guy, your editing guy?
So you guys you recorded a video at Gen Con?
Yeah, he came to the booth with Candace.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay, cool.
So
I have not seen anything from Gen Con yet. It's still being processed.
I figured as much, but I think you'll have a lot of fun with Murray.
Awesome.
So I just did the math. So if we had done that, it would have cost us $23.75 per copy of Divinity to bring it to the booth.
Fuck.
Yeah, that weight thing.
Those conventions, man. They're not.
Well, that's how PAX Unplugged got people to publishers to go the first year.
So how did you get them into the booth then?
Because they paid all the drayage fees.
They paid all the drayage fees,
and that's no longer the case.
No.
Or what? Oh my god.
No, well, it was free drayage, so it was like, yeah, all right, we'll pay the union guys.
So did you guys? I mean, I apologize. I was talking to my kid. So if this was already mentioned, I apologize. But did you hear? Have you talked about the many of the publishers ran into some issues with Fern charging them for weird fees.
We were just talking about the fees to get your product to your booth if you had it shipped.
Okay, so the way that, because Shane is miserly, he just brings his own stuff in. I mean, he drives it in himself. He has basically one person in a giant like Yukon that fills up with stuff, and then he has a pickup that brings in a trailer, and then they just bring in all the stuff themselves. He doesn't believe in paying Fern $1. And in this case, like, he worked with Miniature Market, and they had space on one of their trucks, and so he paid for some space to put a pallet or two of stuff on their stuff. But anyway, regardless, and so then Miniature Market shows up and they just bring the stuff over. So I heard, and again, I don't know. The narrative is this: for the longest time, people have done that thing like Miniature Market, done the thing with Miniature Market where they,
like a caravan.
yeah, they caravan, like, so, and there's companies that
We
like
used,
that's,
we used to do that with what was his name? Hey, whatever, it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. So it's like you hire cool stuff, and cool stuff brings their stuff in for you,
Right, and they drop a pallet off or whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: those companies bring in that stuff usually on Tuesday. As a vendor, you generally, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you generally are not allowed onto the floor until I think it's like either late Tuesday evening or early Wednesday morning. Regardless, a lot of those people were like having those caravan people were dropping off stuff at the booth locations early Tuesday morning. And again, I'm not trying to take sides here. I'm just saying. So Fern has had a policy in place for the longest time that charges a fee if there is a caravan type person that is dropping off an item at your location, unless there is somebody that can prove they are an
Walk with
employee
them.
of your company,
Yeah.
to receive the thing and have it on there. So now the other thing is that the guy that has been working, like, been in charge of the Fern for the Indianapolis Center, like, after whatever 178 years of service, he was retiring this year, and some new guy was coming in to take over, and so they had just had kind of a understanding that they didn't charge that fee. They didn't hit people up for that money, and a lot of people, and I'm not going to mention the names of the publishers, but there were more than a few publishers that were informed by Fern that because they had stuff delivered on Tuesday, when they were not able to be in there to like receive the items, several $1,000s in fees.
So they charge them the backroom storage fee, basically.
There was one very well-known company I know that was charged over $10,000
Yeah.
by Fern, and they were in the process of trying to negotiate that down. And yeah, it's just
Flat River would not even deliver their own client stuff to their booths, and they claimed that it was an edict this year from the convention center itself, not from Fern. But I don't know if I buy that. I will tell you that every year we would pull up to the door by will call. There's a little
A little
yeah,
parkway or whatever.
yeah. We'd pull in there, we would unload.
A little circle.
Yep, we would unload onto a couple of hand trucks, take
Yeah,
our stuff in, and
done
someone
that
would
before.
park the car. Yeah. This year they were kicking everybody out. We had to go to the fucking marshaling yard.
Ooh, that's no fun.
No, and
No, we've been there many times.
They
It's
said,
not
they
good.
said, they say you go to the loading dock, and they tell somebody, they say, just go in, you're fine, you need nothing. Are you sure? Yes, absolutely sure. Get the loading dock. No,
No,
you need a tag
they
from the
won't let you
marshaling yard.
Paper.
Oh my
Papers.
fucking God. Your papers, please.
Did you go sit in that dusty parking lot for like a few hours to get?
No, when
Was
we
it-
got there, it was nice. There's only one person line ahead of me. So we were
Oh, okay.
really quick on that, which is nice.
That's
But
good.
then they say you've got a half an hour. It's like,
Yeah. You only get.
you.
Yeah. Nobody gets. Yeah.
So
Nobody gets more than a half hour.
my friend Bill Sweet talked the guy, and we had like an hour or so. But then his boss showed up and called us and said, "Come out and move your car." So yeah,
Fun.
but it's absolutely fucking absurd.
Well, yeah, nothing like it. No convention in America. Like,
Yeah. Well,
what
anyway,
you gotta do?
I think they get their shit
If you
together
want to
by
play the
now.
game, you got to do their
Mm.
rules.
Well, and that's just it. And it's kind of one of those things where, I mean,
We wrote a letter.
and again,
Hmm.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I will say that I also had heard that people are like, well, I'm not going to pay it. And again, this is just supposition. And I don't know how true this is.
Elections.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where, well, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to pay you several $1,000s. And they're like, cool, we'll tell Gen Con that you're not allowed
back.
you,
Yeah.
that you can't exhibit here anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
They hold all the cards.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about that.
On a more positive note, I got a notification. It looks like Essen will have the German version of Cosmic Frog from Happy Shops will be available there. So I'm very excited about that.
Are you going?
Nope, I'm not
No.
going. No, not this year. I'm planning to retire maybe at the end of next year. So next year I may go, or the year after. So I'd like to go to Essen at least once. I'd like to go to the UK Game Expo at least once. But I'll wait for the political climate to calm
Essen's
down.
pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I don't even know what I do.
It's like 10 Gen Con size.
I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. If I'm not a vendor, I don't know what to do.
Exactly. When I went, I ran out of gas on like the Saturday and just sat in a booth and got like really long game demos
Yeah.
because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
You don't go play, you just buy. So if you're done buying, you can go watch a game or play a game maybe like at the booth. But this was the year when smoking was a thing when I was an attendee. And smoking was a thing, and the guy just sat there and just chain smoked the whole time when I was just trying to get through it. That was a rough year.
I am planning to go to Origins this year for the first time in like, I don't know, 7 years or something like that. So I would like to go to Origins again, and I'll just play games at Origin.
I wouldn't go to Origins. I'll just say that right now. I mean,
I'll be right back.
Don't
I
hold
mean,
back, Lance. Say what you
yeah.
really feel.
No, I mean, get a really small booth and expect little, and then be surprised by a lot. I mean, Origins was ridiculous.
When was the last time you went?
This year, and it was a dead zone.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, it's not great.
A lot of looky loos.
A lot of people look at stuff and think it looks cool and keep walking, you know. Just
I'll tell you, the only people I really hate at Gen Con are the ones that come up and expect long explanations of your games, ask all kinds of questions, take up all your fucking time, and have no intention of fucking buying. And if they're on the fence, you can tell, or if they're interested, you can tell. But some of these people, I've told my folks, look for these signs, and if you see them, give them a 30-second, elevator pitch, and then let them walk, because they just annoy me so fucking much.
Do you know what I hate?
Tell me.
The person who starts off their question with, so tell me what game this is like.
Oh, or the ones that start, tell me why I should buy this. I don't fucking care what you buy. And this game is like nothing else. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking be here.
How much is this like? And they'll rattle off a game, and I'm like, I said, first of all, you're assuming that I've played that game,
Right.
Yeah.
and I know, or what are you trying to tell me that it's better than that game?
Mhm.
It's worse than that game? Like, I don't understand the questions people ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean it was the ever since we just stopped doing like full demos of games, we just set the game up and show them what it looks like, and then when people say, "What's this game?" and then I just try to give them 2 minutes or less.
Right.
I mean, that's all I do, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where you just tell them, "Yep, this is what it is," and then you try to. And I gloss over tons of rules because nobody wants to sit there and get a rules rehash in front of them. You know, like for Last Light, it's like I don't go through the whole process of how you get to the point when the board rotates. I just say at the end of the turn, the board rotates, which is, not it's like a fifth of a truth, but I mean, but just so they see how it spins around and they see how it is. I mean, for the most part, people were really cool. There was always a few people that were kind of like, what was annoying was like, on Sunday, we like, whatever we had left, it was like Shane said, I don't want to go home with anything. Just sell it, get it sold, just like, and so it was like one of those things where it's like, it's, whatever. It's like, hey, this game is normally, I was telling people this game's normally $90. I'm selling it for 40. And then people were still like, oh, thinking you do 30. It's just kind of like, just like, nope. Just like, see you later. See you later. Keep moving.
I had several people come up for the Cosmic Frog table and say, I got this game last year. I got this game 2 years ago. I've never played it. Tell me how to play it. I'm like, okay. One of them was Patrick Leader.
Oh, really?
I got this game.
Was he
Tell me how to play it.
joking?
I haven't played it yet.
Patrick's nice.
He was a sweetheart.
What, did he die?
No, at the booth during my encounter.
Oh, you said was. I
Yeah.
thought.
During my brief encounter, he was a
Oh,
sweetheart.
He was
okay.
He was
Whew.
a fine man during his short life. Yeah.
But the question I got to ask most often, whether can we buy the miniatures individually?
Oh my God.
Why?
I'm like,
Why would
no.
you want to?
Well, because people like they wanted like their favorite character, or they wanted to buy like one. Like, no, we don't sell them individually.
Oh wait, I
Question.
I have a good story to tell from Gen Con this year. So about 4 years ago was the first year I like sold some posters of the frogs. And this one girl bought some posters and she was telling me about her friend who was not at Gen Con, who actually he said he adored the Mind Bore frog, really loved it, was going on and on about it, said how he got a tattoo of the frog. I said, well, that's cool. So I gave her a copy for free for him. And I just said, here, take this to him as a gift. Tell him I really appreciate it. So a month later, I got an email from that person thanking me for the gift and showing me this frame that they put the frog poster in and their tattoo of their arm. And they've got the frog on it. So this year at Gen Con, he shows up in my booth and said, I had to come to your booth to show you the tattoo in real life. And that was the highlight of my con. Well, the second, first was hugging Anthony. The second was
Ah.
Now you
Notice-
caught yourself there. You
Notice how the truth
Yeah.
comes out.
All right. Well,
I love and hate you all in equal measure.
my favorite, Jenna, my favorite line that I've used that I stole from you, and I've used it dozens of times, is I used to have a friend that looked just like you. It's like,
I used to have a friend just like you.
I used to have a friend that looked just like you. All right, I got initials. So
I
I'm
got a
gonna do 'em.
grievance. Do I? Can I
Oh,
do a
grievance! Go for it.
Do you agree? Do you agree with somebody? Another cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
So you don't care. You just give me like I'm out of here.
I'll watch it later.
Oh, okay.
I
So
yeah, I'll listen
don't
twice
care.
as hard.
I
Alvin.
woke up on Thursday morning
That's
and
your
I was
grievance?
no.
You woke up.
Yes, I have to do a half an hour explanation of this
He's
thing,
trying
or
to
it
be
wouldn't
like
be.
Lance. Yeah.
I have to put Lance. I got to channel my inner Lance and give you some like. I can just say what it is like very quickly and be
Oh
done.
no, build up. I want you
Look
to
at
build
Lance's
up.
face. So I wake up and I said, and I'm trying to get on Twitch to watch the streamer who was at Gen Con, right? And I wanted to log in my personal account. Or no, I wanted to log in my Board Game Geek account because he didn't know me as he's a pinballer that's a board gamer, right? So I just didn't I
Right.
wanted to have the Board Game Geek account.
Right.
So I basically send, when you're on Twitch, you have to send a verification email to your email address that's on that account, so you can log in with the verification code, right? Fair. And I'm checking my email. It's like, I'm not getting email. Yeah, it's slow or something. I do it again. 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, something's wrong, right? Like I'm like, there's usually I get it really fast, and I'm checking is Twitch verification down. It's everybody else's fault. Then I started looking into my own internal messages, and then I see Chad's message pop up and he says, email's down. I'm like, oh, whoa, what? Like the whole company email is down, right? So instead of me leisurely watching a Gen Con walkthrough of the opening, I get to run around like an idiot trying to figure out what's wrong with the email and basically finding out that we got suspended. I just hate having the control of something in somebody else's hands who doesn't have any qualms about shutting you down instantaneously without
Who's your
asking a
provider?
question.
So who got suspended?
So
Yeah.
Board Game Geek did. So
Why?
basically, Board Game Geek, I can't even figure out why. Like, so I log into the thing. It's called Mailgun, by the way. GUN, just weird. And it's all mail on BGG has never really been correct, if you know what I mean. Like, there's ways to do things correctly on the internet, and there's ways that I do it sometimes, and it was working, meaning everybody could have their own emails. Like your Gmail could be your email on BGG, and then you could receive into your Gmail. You know what I mean? Like, so I kept everybody. I didn't make everybody go have to log into a Board Game Geek email.
Right.
Because Mailgun lets you set up forwarding rules and all kinds of you can set up aliases and there's no limits and you can do all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm not sure what happened, but basically that server became known as a spam server too. Like, so they got, usually what will happen is whoever's running emails on these major providers will send messages back to that server saying, oh, you got a spammer here, shut them down. So we got flagged as a spammer, and I'm still not even sure how. So I get this email, and it came in at like 4 a.m. Eastern time, right? So I'm like, and I'm just getting around at like 9 a.m. So I'm like, okay, so it's already been a few hours. So I started digging into it a little bit, and I'm just like, they already shut me down. Like it was already done. So I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix this, right? And they gave me this huge list. I mean, it's like 10 things. By the way, we're not spammers. We don't send out that many emails. This is only for our internal receiving emails. Like if you send an email to me, we don't use it to send out. So I go through their rigmarole and I respond to them. Like, I'm like, please return my, here's my phone number. You can call me. You can text me. I'm on, you can contact me here. Here's my, all the stuff, right? No response for the whole day. And so we didn't have email on Thursday, like for the whole day. And so around 4 or 5 p.m., I said, I think I'm just going to have to switch the email system. Right. And so I had to do it on a moment's notice. I just had to pull the trigger and which is kind of a pain because we had 50 email accounts set up for different things and all different, there's a lot of moving parts with it.
Did you lose all your archives also?
So the way it works is every email that would come into this thing would just forward. It didn't hold anything. It wasn't a server. I mean, it was a server, but it wasn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was a server from any perspective, it was a server, but all the email was just forwarded. And I told them that. I actually had I wrote up a big long thing. I'm like, hey, this is the way I do it. Is this wrong? Tell me if I should be doing something different. Here's what I think is happening. Spam is coming into the server and then it's getting forwarded to Gmail. There's no spam filtering. So in essence, if you forwarded if a spam came to me it got forwarded to Gmail. Gmail thinks you're a spammer. Do you follow that logic?
Yeah.
At least that's what I think happened. They think our API keys got compromised and someone was sending messages as us and not, but I think it was all coming in because we don't send messages out on that thing. It was only incomings. Anyway.
So no one at BGG needs money for a kidney transplant. I better delete that email.
Yeah. And believe me, I was like, I had always noticed that the spam was getting forwarded to me from this thing, right? And I'm like, I wish I could get around that because Gmail has amazing spam prevention type things. So I just pulled the plug on email gun and just switched over to Google. But it took probably 8 hours.
Jeez.
So my day, instead of having a fun day of watching Gen Con and like, doing my whatever, watching stuff, I had to basically rush. And it wasn't it was 8 hours from that point, like late afternoon up until midnight when I finally finished it all.
Brutal.
So anyway, there's my grievance. I think it's all good now. And then I've started learning more about email. Email's really, really hard. It sucks.
Lance, did you see one of my posts about my post about Divinity?
No, I didn't. What did you say, Matthew?
I basically just said go see the guys at Gray Fox, and then I ended it with oh, and don't forget to ask Lance if he wants to air any grievances.
Oh, that would have been nice. No, nobody asked.
Damn it. That shows you how much pull I have, or how much friggin'
You have no clout.
I'll say, I mean, also being stuck in Indy for technically we drove to St. Louis and I flew out from there the next day, but having both of my flights canceled was a.
How long of a drive is it for you?
So if I drove home from Indy, it would have been a 12-hour drive.
Okay, that's what I do.
Well,
how long is
it?
Well, I didn't have a car there, just so you know. I mean,
I'd
it wasn't
rather
like
do that than fucking pay.
Wasn't like I was. I mean, I guess I could have, pulled some Grand Theft Auto 5 and smashed the window of the guy.
You drove every year. That's what I mean.
The longest drive I've ever done was I drove straight to San Antonio, Texas from Fargo, North Dakota.
Wow.
That was a long drive. Technically, I stopped and parked in I think it was like a Holiday Inn parking lot. And I just pulled my car and I closed my eyes and took like a 3-hour nap before waking up and finishing it off. That was a long drive. That was a very long and boring drive. Ridiculously boring. Let me see, how long was it? I feel like it was 20 hours. I might be wrong.
A lot of driving.
It was just insane. It was like, I mean, and it was, and it never ended, right? I mean, it was just kind of like, let's see, starting point, Fargo, North
we went
Dakota, to San Antonio, Texas. If I left right now, 20 hours and 27 minutes. So there you go.
Better get going.
There you go.
Drive 24 hours without leaving Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah.
24 without leaving Ontario. Wow. That's what the longest I did was 24. It was going to Dallas the first time. That's 24 straight. I stopped in total about 2 hours with gas and pissing and shit.
All right, Anthony Smith. Here we go.
Back.
All right, so I am not playing. I am out, guys. Today was my last day of vacation. I got to get back to work tomorrow. So
get back to work, Jenna.
I know, life's a bitch, and then you die. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi to everybody and see all your fresh and friendly faces. Well, fresh faces anyway. Well, friendly faces anyway. So have fun, you guys. I'll try and have more time next week. Enjoy the initials and have fun defending the castle.
Bye,
Have a
Jenna.
good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. Well, we're gonna do this. Hold on, I gotta find my Google Doc here. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Has anybody heard from Evan? Should we?
Evan?
Oh yeah, where's Evan? Did he make it home?
Yeah, he did
There's
make
like
it
a lot of
home.
flights canceled, I heard.
Yeah.
Well, it was because the tropical, supposedly the tropical storm in
Shut down
Florida caused all of the
the
flights to be
Fargo, North
canceled.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Well, like they don't have the planes or the pilots, available to
Sure.
to
They're all
do.
stuck.
What airline, by the way?
Going home was American. And then I ended up just canceling that flight and flying United home out of St. Louis. The gentleman that I mean, admittedly, I probably wasn't like the nicest, but the guy was like, and I'm sure he was on his like 40th phone call of somebody saying, "This sucks. You guys have left me abandoned. I hate you."
Well,
So I'm sure.
Lance snapped
Did
at
you say
me, and
that?
then I was like, "Oh, that person's gonna get it."
Yeah. So,
Oh, you
but
snapping
then,
at
but
me?
I didn't snap at him until he started talking down to me, and then I was like, "Dude, you don't have to talk down to me. I'm trying to like." It's like it's like your airline is like leaving me stranded. Like I don't have a place to stay to. And then he was like, "Well, because it's weather, we don't have to give you any kind of hotel arrangement or anything like that." He was like, and he was really just being kind of snide. And then he started getting all up in my area, like any interpretation of my tone is completely on you, sir. I am not talking down to you. And I was like, "Oh, you suck." And then I was like, "But even if I complain about you, nobody's gonna care because it's one of those days where it's like, we know today sucked. We know you had like 50, 60 people all saying that American Airlines can go." Shove it up their ass, and it was just like, so I mean, they aren't gonna, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I was having a bad
I'm just
day.
as God made me, sir.
Yeah. At the time though, I would have, maybe, uh, you know, uh, given up on, my years of
Minnesota
pacifism,
nice.
my pacifism, and maybe would have had to have introduce that guy to his teeth. But I got him though because I was sitting there and I said yeah, because originally I had him reschedule me for a flight the next day, and he was just, I think he was one of those things where he probably had his like little list of things that he is allowed to say and what he can and cannot say and just whatever. And then I was in the process and I said, I could you please give me the flight number, the time, like my and then like he cut me off in the middle of what I was saying. It was like, you need to give me, I'm asking you to give me, and then he cut me off and like, you can find all of that those things. And I said, I love it when you interrupt me during the middle of my question to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Is that also how you're supposed to treat customers? And then there's this pause,
Oh, you're the worst.
and he's like,
Gosh.
and then he just
Yeah.
paused and said, "I apologize, sir." I was like, "Goddamn right you do, Malcolm."
Where was this?
That
Remember
was
the
me on the
name.
phone with American
You're
Airlines.
such a jerk.
Why am I a jerk? The guy interrupted me while I was asking my question. Just wait till I'm done. Wait till your turn to speak. And it's like it just, and then but like I said, we were done. We're done. And then and we
You are
moved.
customer service. Yeah.
You know what?
Put me in initials. Come on.
I'm not gonna take your crap over that. I mean, the guy was being a jerk to me, and there's no reason. I was in a shitty situation, and I don't know, man. I mean, it's just like when somebody wants to like get all up in my area and like I said, I'm trying to give him empathy and saying I understand. You have a shitty day. A lot of people are like probably all up in your uh business about it. But I mean,
Thought you were on
I
a
did
phone.
phone service and I did, yeah, but I did phone service and I had people screaming, yell at me. And I mean, and I never yelled at them. I just was like, you got it. Cause I knew it was like, whatever, that guy's having a, like, they're having a shitty day. And if I let them escalate me, then nothing good is going to come out of it. But then again, whatever. People are just going to be angry about everything forever. So nothing will ever change. I got home. I
Such
got
a
home.
positive.
Well, I mean, they just are. I mean, it's like one of those things where I mean, I don't know. I just trying to let things work me up anymore. I mean, there are people that are they're just turds. I mean, and lately it's just been people online that are just freaking turds. They're just people are so dumb, and I don't want to be political, but I mean, it's just like people are really dumb when it comes to politics. I just have to shut it and and I just you know what you know what really chaps my ass? I'm just gonna say this right now. This really chaps my ass. And I realize this is political and I apologize for it. And I'm willing to let people say what they want to say. But you know, I think that Donald Trump is a complete and total fucking moron. And I think that JD Vance guy is a complete and total fucking moron as well. And there isn't a world where I would vote for either of them. I wouldn't put them in charge of a 25-cent pay toilet. But I'll say this. I'll say this. I am so annoyed by all these people making these freaking couch jokes. Something that has been completely and totally disproven about that is a complete and total like joke. It's like it was a joke that was made up by a guy that went live, and even Tim Walz made a joke about I can't look forward. I look forward to debating him if he can get off the couch. Bah, ha, 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 ha. It's just like I liken it to like wrestlers who come out and just say what I was driving into Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where we're from. Yay! Just like he said the name we're in, the city we're in. It's just, and so what it does then is that it gives the people that like are gonna vote for them. It gives them all of the like ammunition in the world to say, "Ooh, those idiots, blah blah blah." Couch jokes, it's just like instead of you could just come up with so many real reasons why that guy's just an idiot. And
what's my expression?
I don't know what's your expression.
You have enough ammunition. Stop trying to load a knife into the chamber.
Yeah. So yes,
Kind of like when bands go, "Hello, Springfield."
yeah. Good night, Springdon.
Wait,
there will be no encore.
Look at the back of their guitar, like Springfield.
But I don't know. I mean, and I get it. You got to kind of fight the fire and blah 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 blah. But I don't know. I, for one, was not impressed. So,
right,
but that's
the initials.
The initials tonight. I have 15 items. I have to thank my wife for coming up with several of these because I kind of had I had a bit of a what's I'm looking for here. I had a bit of a writer's block coming up with enough. But now I have 15 items. Here are the initials, and we have our scorekeeper and arbiter of reality and everything, blah, blah, blah. It is. Oh, and I will say that there is at least
so close. So close.
There's at least one and possibly two where people are going to be like, that was one word, but that's fine. But I saw in multiple situations where it was referenced as both one word and two words. Okay. So I accepted it as a 2-word. So if you get stuck in a situation where, wait a minute, that's a 1-word thing, maybe just go with your gut. Anyway, here we go. The initials tonight, in honor of Gen Con, are GC. GC.
It's funny, it's like in honor of Gen Con, they're WL.
Yes. All right. Item number 1. First known appearance was in the 15th century. Bloomer 2 includes spoons, cleeks, and long noses.
What was the second word?
Pay attention or you're not hearing it again.
I didn't hear what it said.
Clue number 3.
Wait, what was the clue?
Clue number 2 has included spoons, cleeks, and long noses.
Leaks?
Clue number 3.
I don't know.
Anthony,
Anthony, go ahead.
golf club.
See, that's why I don't do it again, because that gives Anthony
Okay,
more
fine.
ammunition. Anthony is correct.
Good. Get it over with quicker.
I didn't hear the center one either, Scott.
Don't ask
Yeah,
questions.
sure.
Or Anthony will win.
Was it a
Don't ask
cleat?
questions. Just play along.
William Maine made them for a king. King James IV of Scotland was the first person to ever to request a set be made for him.
How do you spell cleeks?
Cleeks. There are in
No such thing.
tournaments there are a maximum of 14. Originally wood, but later metal. Includes drivers, irons, wedges, and putters. Did you know that they weren't allowed to make them out of metal for like the longest time because the golf balls weren't strong enough to withstand the hit. But when they started making better golf balls, then they were able to make it. Anyway, so that was I learned stuff today.
You learned stuff.
All right, here we go. Item number 2. Originated in 1859. Number 2. A civil war affected its prosperity greatly. Number 3. Has a world-renowned kayak course.
Anthony,
Go for it.
Guadalcanal.
Number 4.
Matt?
Go for it.
Grand Canyon?
Ooh, back pocket.
I almost said that. Thanks for taking the bullet.
Back pocket. Clue number 4. Has the only official school of mines in the United States.
School of what?
Mines. M-I-N-E-S.
Okay. I think I said mimes.
Clue number 5. Is the birthplace of Coors beer.
Of
Barry.
course.
Ooh.
Barry was first.
Was it
Was it?
Barry?
I think it was Barry.
I think it was Barry.
From my
too.
ears. I mean, you can go a little tape if you want.
Nah, I'll go with it. Barry, what do you got for me?
Golden, Colorado.
Golden, Colorado is correct. And it still has the original brewery. I toured there many, many, many years ago. Still has the original brewery. The founder came over as a he stowed away without a penny to his name in a German freighter and made his way to make Coors, the banquet beer. All right, here we go. Item number 3. Originated in 1924. Clue number 2. Ownership makes you an LPR. Clue number 3. 12.7 million people, give or take a few 10 or 20,000, have them today.
Aldi.
Of course.
Aldi.
Gift card.
Forrest, you still want to come in?
GameCube.
Clue number 4. Put those in your back pocket.
Anthony,
Anthony, go.
green card.
Green card is correct. Yes.
Nice.
Roughly 18,000 of those 12.7 million serve in the United States military.
Nicely done.
Can lead
How
to a
many?
test. 18,000. Can lead to a test, final clue was also known as a permanent resident card for non-US citizens. All right. Here we go. Item number 4. Acclaimed civil servant. Clue number 2. Famous astronomer. Evan, go.
George Clooney.
Number 3. It is debated if their most famous. Let me start over. Clue number 3. It is debated today if their most famous work was ever completed.
Anthony.
Go for it.
Geoffrey Chaucer.
Geoffrey Chaucer is correct. The Canterbury Tales, which if you've never read the Canterbury Tales, read it. It is fantastic. It is. I mean, and let me just pause. It's when he wrote the Canterbury Tales, he wrote it in English, which for the time was completely and totally like wackadoo. Like everybody wrote in French. That's what everybody wrote in, but he wrote it in English, and it started a wave of books being published in English. Also very saucy. The stories are extremely saucy if you go there for their time. Anyway, one of my favorite professors had a medieval literature class. That's great. Anyway, item number 5. Number 1. Surprisingly, originated in 1994. Number 2. Associated with magnets. Number 3. Originally associated with telephones. Number 4. Associated with video rentals. Evan, go.
Gift card.
Gift card is correct. Well done, buddy. Well done.
It was a steal, but
Clue number 5 was Neiman Marcus was first. They were the first ones to issue gift cards. What?
What year was it?
1994 was when the first gift cards were
We used
started.
to get gift certificates.
Yeah,
There's no
gift
way.
certificates, the paper gift certificates.
Yeah.
Gift cards. And then it's estimated that 1/3 of these are never used.
Right.
They,
Is it the same in the States as it is in Canada? Gift cards never expire.
they never expire. They used to have a situation where every 12 months they would lose like $2.50, but then they passed a law in the United States regulating them, so they couldn't do that anymore.
Because it's like legal tender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they couldn't remove it. My favorite is when you go to a restaurant and it's like you get your tab and it's like $60, but they have a deal going on because it's close to Christmas. It's like buy $50 worth of gift cards, get $20 free, and you're like, I'm gonna go buy some gift cards here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but you can't use them today.
Oh, they always let you use them because the server, if they'll always let you use them so they can get the good.
TGI Fridays used to sell them at the table.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right. What item number? Let me see. 2, 3, 4. Item number 6. Item number 6. Item number 1 was seen in Star Trek numerous times.
Evan.
Go for it.
George Clooney.
He's never been seen in Star
Come
Trek
on.
ever.
Come on.
Number 2 is part of many spells in D&D or Dungeons and Dragons. Number 3. They are the birthplace of the stars.
It's not the thing I was thinking.
Clue number 4. Can occur on Earth just prior to volcanic eruptions. Clue number 5. Consists of dust, debris, and radiation.
Matt.
Go for it. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Gaseous
One.
cloud. I don't know. But...
Gas cloud. There you go. I'll give it to you. Yes.
Oh.
That's again. Last one was nebula. They are more commonly in space, more commonly called nebula. There's always some treacherous nebula in Star Trek that's preventing something.
When we get to the end, I'll tell you what I almost guessed. I would have kicked myself because it's probably in here somewhere.
All right, here we go. Clue number 7.
I think I know what you're thinking.
Item number 7. Clue number 1 is 23 years old.
Of course.
Go for it.
GameCube.
Bam! Way to go.
Oh.
All right, Forrest is done with his Monday.
So I had all these good clues. Number 2 is related to dolphins because when it was created, its code name was the Dolphin. Uses a handlebar design. That's for the controllers. They went away from the 3-trigger controller. That I love the 3-trigger controller on the Nintendo 64. Uses at its height owned a 37% market share. Uses optical drives. Was replaced by the Nintendo Wii. All right, here we go. Item number 8. Clue number 1. In their youth, lived in a stone cottage. Clue number 2. Has been married 3 times and has one. Go for it.
George Clooney.
I'll read the full clue now.
You committed now, Evan. You need
Clue
to.
number 2. Has been married 3 times and has 1 child.
Barry.
Go for it.
George Carlton.
Ooh.
Who?
Wrong.
Uh-huh.
George Carlton. Clue number 3.
Oh. All right.
Starred opposite Sherlock Holmes in The Crucifier of Blood. Clue number 4. Traveled for many years with Up With People. Up with people. Clue number 5. One of few actors to ever get a Tony, Emmy, and Oscar nomination in the same year. Final clue. Will always be known as the Bunny Boiler from Fatal Attraction.
Anthony.
Anthony, go.
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close is correct. Well done. She lived in it. So the first clue is kind of a mean one because, yes, she did live in a stone cottage with her parents, which was a guest house on her grandfather's giant estate in Greenwich Village. So, she was very mobile.
Are there 2 Crucifier of Bloods? Because I can't.
It was a play. It was the first major play that she was ever in.
Oh,
okay. She was in a play, The Crucifier of Blood. All right. What are we on? Number 9, I believe. Yeah. Good one. Is worth 1 experience.
Anthony.
Go for it.
Gelatinous cube.
Ooh.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
There was way more than that.
Clue number 2.
Yeah, those are tough.
Is worth 100 copper.
Anthony.
Wrong.
Evan.
Matt.
Evan, go.
Gold coin.
Gold
Damn
coin is correct. It was a total D&D clue. In old school D&D, for every 1 gold you got, you was worth 1 experience point, and it was worth 100 copper. Third clue is worth 10 silver. Fourth clue is worth 2 electrum, and fifth clue is worth 1/10 of a platinum.
Yeah.
And then the final one is the most common treasure given out in D&D.
1/5 of a platinum.
Oh, really? Pull out your OSR, baby. Where it's worth 1 experience, and you'll see it's
Oh,
1/10.
Nerd fight! Nerd
Yes.
fight! Nerd fight!
Pull out your old school AD&D, and then you see what it's worth.
5 gold is 1 platinum.
In the most recent, yes, I'll agree 100%. But in
No,
old
in like,
school-
in like advanced D&D.
Moving on.
Touchy subject.
All right, next one. Clue number 1. Written in 1995. Clue number 2. Filmed in 2007. Clue number 3. Also known as the Northern Lights. Clue number 4. Also known as his Dark Materials.
Force.
Go for it.
Gary Coleman.
Eh.
His dark material. Oh, Jesus.
Clue number 5. Moving on.
You're going to hell, Forrest.
Oh no.
Clue number 5 was criticized by the Catholic Church for its depiction of religion.
Anthony.
Go for it.
Golden Compass.
Golden Compass is correct. That was a great movie.
Never saw that movie.
It is so good, and I'm so mad they never made the sequels because it only made $347 million. So they decided not to make it. Go look at everybody that's in that movie. Ian McShane. I mean, award-winning children's book series and Academy Award-winning movie starring Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig, and Ian McKellen as a talking polar bear.
Isn't is that the one De Niro's in?
No, that's the Everdust or I forget what it's
Stardust?
called.
Stardust.
There you go.
Stardust
Yeah.
is amazing.
Stardust is also.
I love it.
Haven't seen that one
Amazing.
either.
It's a good one.
There you go. Next one. Number 1. Related to mice. Clue number 2. Has 2 hands, but originally had 1.
Matt,
Aldi.
Go for it.
grandfather clock.
Grandfather Clock is correct. Developed in the mouse run off the clock, yeah. Developed in 1670, got its name from a famous song, depends on gravity work. Yeah, so on and so forth. That's it.
one in the other room.
All right, here we go. Clue number 1 can be traced back to 5000 BC. Clue number 2.
I was going to say GameCube, but that's already been taken.
How
Clue number
about
2.
George Clooney?
Very popular in France, Greece, and Japan. Clue number 3. Usually more nutritious than its counterparts. Clue number 4. Is also usually more digestible than its counterparts. Clue number 5. Known for its texture and tartness. Final clue. Feta, Yagi.
Matt,
Force.
Barry.
Matt, go.
goat cheese.
Goat cheese is correct. Goat cheese.
I almost said green cabbage.
So did I, Scott. I meant.
Goat.
I was going grape
Cheese.
Kool-Aid all the way.
Grape Kool-Aid. That's a K.
Kool-Aid?
Just so you know. All right, we got 3 left. Three big ones left here. We
Biggins?
got Anthony with 5, Matt with 4, Bear with 1, Evan 1, Forrest 1, Aldi.
Yeah, I have 2.
You're 1 second too late on these.
Okay, you've been ringing in and you've had the answers.
I
You've just
rang in a
been-
couple times.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just making sure that your thing was working. All right. All right, here we go. 3 left. Clue number 1. In computers, it refers to memory management.
Aldi,
Go for it.
garbage collection.
Well done, Aldi. You're on the
Give me my-
board.
give
Oh,
me my-
sure,
my
you drop
gimme.
in the computer
Like,
question.
yeah, you asked me a computer
Yeah.
question. I should hopefully I could
Fucking
get
layup
something.
if I ever heard one. Pandering to all the.
Yeah. Early text shows it has existed since 6500 BC.
In the chiropractic business.
I was just about to say that.
In London, it was called dust yarding in the 1800s. Strangely, it didn't become prevalent until the early 1900s in the US, only because of horse manure, and not because of the horse manure, but because people started buying this is an extended thing, but basically people started buying really expensive shoes, and their shoes were getting really dirty, and so they needed something. It usually occurs on a set schedule or day. It's another word for waste management. All right, we got 2 left. Clue number 1. Began in 1864. Clue number 2. Related to Napoleon.
Evan,
Go for it.
Grover Cleveland.
Eh.
I don't remember when he was around.
Clue number 3. Now, number 3. Now commonly refers to the version from 1949.
Barry.
Go for it.
Geneva Convention.
Geneva Convention is correct. Well done. Consists of several ratifications.
That was like a double Gen Con reference.
Nice.
Yeah. 196 entities agree to it today. International rules for war for combatants, non-combatants, and prisoners. All right. So the way it works now is Anthony's going to win if anybody but Matt gets it right.
Yep. Matt,
Last question.
Matt.
And I just want to say that this clue was my favorite clue that I had the entire time. Clue number 1 was a movie starring George Strait and Joey Lauren Adams in 2004. And if anybody gets it out of that,
Forrest.
go for it.
God complex.
No,
Damn.
wrong. But I was gonna say, if anybody gets it correct, I will send them off that one clue. I would give them a $20 bill. Clue number 2. This has been claimed by members of the Alaboom several times.
Anthony,
Go for it.
is it Grand Champion?
Grand Champion is correct.
Dang.
I am the Grand Champion.
Dang.
Yes, can relate to contests or competitions, is associated with 1,000. The first word is sometimes world. This is to be the victor and winner over all competitors. Well done, Anthony.
And in French, it means large mushroom.
You were close this time, Matt.
No, it doesn't mean large mushrooms.
So so this time I tried to steer away from
Different.
I tried to steer away from people. Tried to give
I was trying to think of people. I only had like 3 other people that.
Yeah.
George Clooney and Gary Coleman. I mean, come on, right there.
Well, I mean, other than
And
those
Grover
2,
Cleveland.
General
Yeah.
Custard.
well, I guess there are a lot more. I was thinking like
What was
Glenn
the
Campbell.
what was the single words? GameCube.
Gary
GameCube and oh shit, I just closed it.
George Costanza.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They
that's
did-
good.
Yeah, I see. You guys always think of this stuff later. I'm like, oh, George Costanza would have been a great one, but I mean, just for the clues, you know, like,
And you can't Google this either because it doesn't give you
No.
any good ideas.
No.
Yeah.
but yeah,
What was
no.
Gary Cooper,
Ooh,
I
Gary
was gonna
Cooper's
do Gary
good.
Cooper, but that if
Giacomo
any,
Casanova?
but let's be fair. You're the only person that was gonna
You're
be
the
getting
only
Gary
yeah,
Cooper.
those are clues for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Oh,
6 clues from Gary
and
Cooper.
the computer clue was not for
Hey.
you, Scott.
No, it wasn't for me. I mean, did you think it was for me, Lance? Did you think I would get it on one?
I thought you might
I
get
don't
it
think
on
it, I don't
one.
think it would have get on
I thought you might get it on one. I mean, honestly,
Okay.
just yeah, no, it's I don't know, it's fine, and it just, but in fact, if anybody's there was a couple like my Gary, like there's a couple that when I wrote it like the first clue, I was like, I'll, and this sounds horrible, I would say Anthony will get that in one with that clue alone, you know, just because he'll know something
Yeah.
just weirdly esoteric about that person. So it's like, so I try to get away from people, right? You know, because
The funny thing was when you did Randy Savage, like weeks ago,
yeah.
like literally every clue I would have gotten it on.
Yeah, well, because you just,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of things that you yeah, I don't know. It's fun stuff. But I guess fine. Now Anthony gets to make it and we don't get a Canadian one.
There was no gelatinous cube either.
No, there's no gelatinous cube.
I was waiting for it after we had 2 Dungeons and Dragons references. I'm like, oh, it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, maybe perhaps a little bit too out there, if you will. So
So Lance, did you talk about the great Alaboom audience King of the Hill contest?
well, no, we talked about it a little bit. Like I said, like we talked, we talked about it right away. I mean, it was like Kip stopped by, and then it was Stick H, and then it was David, then it was Kip again. You know, it kind of bounced around.
They were there at the same time. We cleared the table for an arm
Oh
wrestle.
yeah. Oh no, I wanted them to do the Spider-Man thing, you know, when they saw each other, but they didn't, you know, obviously. So that was neat. You know, some in-house Alaboom people. Are the Gray Fox Discord. I had a few people that that showed up, you know, that are on that do our play testing and stuff. That was cool. You know, it was nice to see those people. So it's always nice. I mean, obviously Gen Con is made better by when you have people there that you uh that you like, you don't know, you know them online and stuff like that, and then you see them like that. I mean, it's that's kind of cool, you know, to see those people, and I appreciate that. I appreciate like getting to know people or whatever, you know, as far as that goes. And then running into old friends, right? I mean, like, um, I'm certainly not trying to dismiss anybody else, but I just had a happenstance moment of running into um Morgan Dontonville, the guy who does Catan stuff. And he's just continually one of the nicest people I've ever met, and he's just so brilliant and intelligent and fun to talk to, and very warm-hearted. Wish I could see that guy more.
Yeah, nice person.
He's super nice, and I have to thank Anthony also. So many years ago when I was at TMG, when my wife went to, we brought my buddy Cullen, who is like a super nice guy. He was driving down there with his wife, and he offered to carry some of the stuff, including one of our roller coolers that we had. And so he brought it down there, and so every day my wife and I would fill it with ice and snacks and stuff from our hotel room, and we would walk to the convention with it, and then it was just at the booth, and people were like, if you were thirsty, there's a cold bottle of water and things like that. So that was nice. I was like, having a nice cold whatever you wanted to drink was nice. But I remember it was like when Morgan was in the booth, and I was just sitting there talking about whatever, and he was just like, and I said, hey, would you like a cold I said, would you like he's like, I need something with caffeine. I was like, oh, dude, I got like you want a Barks Zero? Because you mentioned root beer. He's like, yeah, well, root beer doesn't have caffeine. I was like, Barks has caffeine. Barks has bite, baby. And so he was all like, really? And he was like, oh, I'd love a cold. And he was just like, I just remember looking at me. He's like, and watching him take the first slip, and you could just see he was like, now cue Pookie Kid to say that Barks doesn't taste right because it has caffeine. But you know what? That's fine. You can have that opinion. Barks is amazing. So, I don't know. So that was
I
nice.
brought a cooler. That was the point he was trying to make.
Yes. Anthony brought a cooler, and we brought it back and forth. It was nice. It was nice to have that. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but I mean, more and more, watching more and more of, going to Gen Con has taught me that, like, more and more that hell is other people, and it is a young man's game to run a booth nowadays. I mean, it's just, I mean, I was fine, but I mean, I was gone are my days of wanting to stay up super late. The night that we played,
Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, I mean, we got done at like 2:30 in the morning, and I was just like, this sucks. You gotta get up in like 6 hours. And I was like, I wish I had just, gone to bed at like, I wish I had gone like, normally I was getting to bed at like 10, 11 o'clock, and, getting your 8 hours, feeling bright eyed and bushy tailed in the morning. It's way better than feeling like you're just dragging ass the next day.
Well,
Sucks.
Saturday night we went out for one beer, and we ended up closing the place.
Yes, we did.
I mean, we didn't drink a lot.
Which place?
Oh no, I was not with you. That wasn't the night I was with you, Evan.
Oh, that was Friday.
Yeah, Saturday. We just went to this Irish bar, and like we got a
Oh,
couple beers. We sat outside and we're chit chatting away, and these people sat next to us. We started talking to them, and next thing we know, the bartender came out after a couple of rounds. Was like, "Last call." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
And then we went to get food at the rib truck that closed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Was it O'Reilly's?
O'Reilly's, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Well, Wichita was like a mob scene, tin roof next door. They had a band that had like 9,000 people in their 20s there.
Hmm.
But yeah, no plans on staying up late, but that didn't happen. And Evan, was that the craziest karaoke bar you've ever been to?
That was pretty intense.
Was it
There was
live
only-
band karaoke?
Wait.
No, it was just like so jam packed. We obviously should have done it like a Thursday night instead of a Friday night.
Matt, let me tell you how
Yeah.
jammed it was. I went out to have a cigarette, and there were 48 people online waiting to get in.
Yeah,
Like they wouldn't let them in because the place couldn't hold any more people.
yeah. I had multiple people in line texting me, "Sorry, gotta go to bed. Can't get in. It's too long." It was ridiculous.
What happens when you oversell Gen Con by 20,000 people?
No, they
That
were all
happens.
locals.
It was mostly locals. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Really?
I mean, we had a decent group, but it was mostly locals. We should have gone Thursday night. That was the mistake.
Like,
Yeah.
we went to District Tap on Thursday, Wednesday night. Maybe it was Wednesday night. We went to District Tap, and like there was no seats at the bar, like together. But like there's these two guys sitting, and one of them's got his backpack on one of the chairs, and they left a space in between them. The other guy's sitting, and so Art goes to the guy. He goes, "Is someone sitting there, or just your bags there?" And like the guy like was disgusted that we made him take his bag off of the seat. And then I waited till he got it on the ground because I was like, what am I fucking dealing with this shit? He's like, oh, he lifts this huge backpack off, gets it down on the ground, like bends over, puts his head back on. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna leave. So we left. We went across the street to Kilroy's. That place is huge, and it was packed to the rafters with locals.
Hmm.
Like it's the hot spot to hang out if you're in your early 20s. They ID every single person as they come in the door, like it's a club.
Yeah.
But jam-packed, loud as all hell, like music blaring. They had a shot list on the wall that, no joke, I kid you not, had to be 12 feet tall and
Oh yeah, it's nuts there. I mean, it's
4 feet wide. And then next to that was two of those boards were like that. And then there was a whole board with nothing but iced teas. So they had like regular Long Island iced tea, but they had all of these things that tasted like
yeah,
other sodas and whatnot.
that place is nuts.
It was friggin' insane.
And
What
it's
place?
like it's all like 20 somethings.
Yes.
What's the name of that place?
Kilroy's.
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 So Scott, do you remember where the Tilted Kilt used to be
Vaguely.
on the corner? So the Tilted Kilt is now the District Tap. It was something else.
Oh, is it?
District Tap. And then across the street is, and a couple doors in is where Kilroy's is.
Okay.
So near the old spaghetti factory, that area.
Sure.
Is there a
But,
college by there, Andy?
I have no clue. But the thing is, that's
just
pretty much where that's where the nightlife is. The
Yeah, that's
craziest
what I'm
thing,
wondering.
the craziest thing, where the Hampton Inn is, where we were staying, that street that runs up, so Good Games is there, and that's where that rib truck was at 3 o'clock in the morning. They had a party there. Like it wasn't, it just people showed up. There was a guy who had this big like expedition that turned it into a mobile DJ thing.
Oh yeah.
Like he had lights on his wheels that spun and lights inside that flash, but like big, huge speakers, turntables, all that. And the entire street was just full of people hanging out and drinking and dancing. And it was insane. I've never seen anything like it. Like I've been to block parties
Yeah.
like this, but this is just like we're all going to meet on Maryland Street or whatever street it is, and we're going to have this crazy party. And it's the entire block. It's just loaded with people and insane.
Oh, I see the drink menu now. That's a lot of drinks.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Looks fun. Was the food good?
The food was good. We originally went there like with the idea of like, oh, we're gonna get appetizers and then go out to eat after. And then like I got nachos and it was like this big. And it was cheap. And I was like, you know what? I'm not hungry.
They have tater tots too.
Tater tots.
Tater
You like
tots.
tater tots?
Yeah, they'll do them with tater tots instead of chips. And then
One of my favorite.
the burnt end sausage was really good too.
Burn-in sausage.
Now, thanks. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about going to cons is looking for restaurants to go to.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, so Matt, I'll tell you a funny story. When we got there, we got downtown and talking to the valet because they were waiting, and he goes, oh, if you need any recommendations for restaurants. I said, I've been here a bunch. I know some good places. I go, what's your favorite place? I said, well, the problem is every time I like a new place, it closes down before I come again.
Yeah.
Because every place, like we used to go to Tilted Kilt on like Tuesday nights when we got in, because it was empty then, and we liked the big tables because you could play games on them. So we'd order food, we eat, and then we just drink and like play games on the table in the bar. But like, I didn't care about that it was the Tilted Kilt. It was open and they had beer and room to play games.
Yeah. One of my favorite
was
places to go to every year is called Union 50. It's about a $10 Uber ride, but it's really good. Their charcuterie plate is so fucking good.
I got taken to some
Charcuterie?
chicken place like 4 years ago last time I went, and that was really good. We Ubered over there to that. I don't even know where it is. I don't even know the name of it. So
Or that little French place that we went to, Evan, for like French Canadian French, not French France French. They have like poutine and they have
Oh,
That
Sounds familiar.
Chris joined us that night. Remember?
Chris who?
Chris Stone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I remember that place. Oh, yeah, that was fun.
So
It's funny. I'm like, oh, let's try this place. I've never been here before. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, oh, I came here with Johnny and Chris. Shit.
Oh yeah, I've been here.
Uber had people over a barrel this year.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Did
Yeah. Oh, it was terrible one night. I tried to
Yeah,
do it.
we because we stayed
Brutal.
off. A bunch of people stayed off site, and they couldn't get Ubers in, so they
Oh,
had to
no,
use-
no, no. Never mind not getting one. So they were charging like $16 in the morning to come from the airport hotel. To go home, it was 50, and sometimes it was 80.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Brutal.
Like, what'd you call it? Lila came to karaoke.
Who did?
Lila is her name, right?
I don't
She was
remember.
hanging out with
Lydia?
No, Lydia didn't come to karaoke.
Oh, okay.
Lila, dark hair and glasses. She got up and sang.
Oh. She was the owner of the Mox cafes, right?
Yes.
Yes, I do remember her. Yeah.
So she was there.
That was
and
the
she
first
said-
time I ever met her.
Yeah, and then she left, and then I left a little while after, but she was like across the street waiting for her Uber. So I saw her. We like stood there with her. She's like, "Oh yeah, they should." It says minute, and then I asked, "How much are they charging you?" And she's like, $50. And I was like,
Jeez.
"Do you want to cancel it? And I'll have them pull my car out of the thing, and we'll drive you back to your
Yeah,
hotel."
it's
Like that's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But someone else had said they $80 they charge them to go back to the same hotel.
Yeah,
But
we
they
need
got
those
charged
cabs back, man.
$16 to come in the morning.
Gotta get
This
the
is
cabs
the,
back.
like this is like real big for Indianapolis, right? The city Gen Con, right? It's like one of the
Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
things.
We
massive.
made we
You
brought in
think the city would
$77
step in
million
on
dollars to
You
them.
think
Yeah.
the city would step on and shit like this where people are gouging because whatever reason. Like,
How?
people complain enough, I'm sure, they contact Uber and say, look, this can't happen.
Now,
You know?
this is what happens when you have free enterprise and you don't have medallion
Yeah.
taxi cab service.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
agree with you there, and I always have with the Uber thing. I've never been in. Yeah, I don't know, but I agree with you. But yeah, I think it's wrong,
And yeah,
Th-
you
this
have to think. Like I could see charging more one way or another. So growing up in the Bronx, like
Yeah,
taking a
but
cab
not triple.
taking
You
a
know?
cab, well, taking a cab to the airport was it was very hard to do because they couldn't pick up a ride back to the Bronx necessarily. But like you're Ubering from downtown to the airport, you could probably pick someone up at the airport and bring them back downtown.
Yeah, yeah.
I think one of the worst Uber or even car experiences I've ever had was when I went to Los Angeles last year, and I met James Hudson when we went to Disney. And that night I was going to an event
Oh, I remember
back
that.
in fucking like I was in Anaheim at Disney and I had to go back to Glendale. And it was like a $75 Uber ride. And I was like a planner. I'm like, don't worry, James, I've got my Uber. I scheduled it. He dropped me off at the fucking ride share pickup place. I whip out my phone. I'm like, oh, is he coming to? Oh, your driver has canceled the ride. Like, what the? And it took me an hour and a half to find a car. I called private car services. I had the hotel was helping me out trying to call these different car services. There was like this bus at one point that was gonna
Oh
come
my
pick me
God.
up, a shuttle bus or something. I'm like, I'll pay anything. Finally, this Uber person accepted my ride, and right away I messaged them, please don't cancel my ride. I will make this worth your while. I had 7 people cancel on me. Dude was amazing. I tipped him like $50. And yeah, it was crazy. And it was pouring. I was like drenched.
Oh,
It
So
sucks.
it was a great day, but
Right.
it ended a little shitty.
So
Yeah.
I did hear some good secondhand stories of catastrophes at Gen Con. So there
Oh,
was
yeah.
one hotel out at the airport, an extended stay, where on Wednesday, the manager and the entire day staff walked out.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
One person showed up for work. Nobody was there. They were at the front desk. All these people show up to check in. None of the rooms were cleaned.
Which hotel?
Right.
There was no stay. It was extended stay out of the airport, and they literally can't tell them we have to cancel your reservation because
Wow.
So Michael and Steph got stuck in a room with bed bugs and they had to move in the
Oh,
like at 11 p.m. at night.
no.
Like, got them across the street. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds hideous.
Oh,
Yeah,
Michael
it's
and
not
Steph.
good.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Michael and
I'm
Steph.
thinking of Michael and Christina.
Dang.
Yeah. No.
well, we had
Jeez.
the
Yeah.
the bed bug canines at our hotel when we were checking.
What was the name of that restaurant in Indy that would change its menu to all like the Gen Con food?
The Ram, but it's
The
not
Ram.
something else now.
I was so
But
disappointed with
they
that
still
place.
do it though.
Yeah, I was super disappointed because I remember hearing all these years about people going to the Ram. And I'm like, oh man, I'm excited.
But the best thing at the Ram was the growlers.
The end, the growlers.
But they had Gen Con growlers that they made.
Right. Yeah, they were
Really?
selling it like a special edition. Yeah,
Like
for
it
the
had
year.
like on the outside had like you can get an L for a barbarian or
When
And
you
the
say
meatloaf-
growler,
the
what do you
meatloafs-
mean?
Like a keg of beer.
brown
Like
Okay,
a brown
growler
1 gallon
beer.
jug, and they'd fill it with beer.
not a keg, but yeah.
And we used to go like be gaming in the hotel, and someone would go, "I'm going to the Ram. Who wants their growler refilled?"
Yeah, something
Yep.
like that.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
My only souvenir from the Yukon.
The funny thing
Alright.
about the restaurant, Scott, is the Ram sign is still there, and only the
Fallen
A
off.
is on it now.
Oh, okay. So it's
It just says A.
is it on
on
it's
it.
an A.
Just that.
Then Gate 10, the people who own Gate 10 parking sold the business to somebody else. So a few days before Gen Con, they sent out an email saying, if you have this, these 5-day things, you have to park at this other lot that's 2 blocks away. They still shuttled
Oh.
people in, but then other people showed up at the Gate 10 thing, and the new company's like, yeah, we're not honoring these.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
But then eventually they started
I mean,
honoring them
you
because
know,
apparently
hey, nothing like 4 days of gaming though. Come on, have a great time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I even on a Saturday, I didn't notice a lot of cosplay people in the like I did.
I mean, I heard that the cosplay parade was still huge, but I mean, just
Oh
generically.
no, it was because I almost walked out into the middle of it and then realized where it was happening and turned back around. There was big controversy there. Someone won second place with a store-bought costume.
That people had a problem with them. They can't have a store-bought costume and win.
Well, people worked, since last Gen Con to make their costumes. This person just bought one.
No, do better. You know what they say.
Sucks to suck.
Ah,
Embrace the suck. Is that what you said?
Sucks to
Sucks to
suck.
suck.
Oh,
does suck to suck.
You know what I felt bad for, Lance? That booth that was right across from my booth. They had so many games at the end of the con they had to pack back up and take home.
You know what surprised me? Although which company was that, by the way? I'm just curious.
I don't even know.
Remember? Tons of Kickstarter booths.
Yeah.
My God. How much are those booths? Like a 10 by 10? $2,000?
No, it's more than that.
Wow. For your Kickstarter. That hasn't even launched yet.
Well, actually, no, it's probably less because they were in Entrepreneur Alley.
Oh, it could have been Entrepreneur Alley.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been Entrepreneur Alley.
Entrepreneur Alley didn't really have like a clearly delineated area. I felt like this time.
But the problem with Entrepreneur Alley to do that, and again, yeah, more power to you. But next year when your game is out, you can't go back.
Right.
Right. And it's hard to get in, right? You have to,
You put
I mean, is
put
it
in
pretty much
for it,
sold
and they
out?
basically do a drawing
Yeah.
to see if you can get in or not.
Mhm.
Entrepreneur Alley.
But
Yeah, because I
literally
watched, like I said, I watched that one guy walk
hundreds
through
and
and it
hundreds
was
of
just,
copies of games in there.
it must have been 10 Kickstarter booths in a row. It must have been, yeah, it was Entrepreneur.
So what was
I
it
talked
like
to
on?
several people that say that it's still just impossible to get like in, right? To have to like, it's like, oh yeah, we offered to pay more, we offered this, we offered that, and just like,
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
Like you'd think there was only one convention in America. It's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man.
There were a couple things that I found interesting. So I went into the first exposure hall, and there were a couple of tables in there from manufacturers, but nobody had like a booth. Like the Panda booth wasn't there at all. But like I remember like in the past, like Long Pack had a table there where people sitting at the table, but like their tables they had in there were pretty much pushed against the wall with just signage and stuff on it. That was kind of odd. And there were at least 5 manufacturers who had booths there.
There's a lot.
There were a couple people who, again, weren't selling anything with booths there.
So what was it like on Sunday? Did they have to take a lot of product home on the floor, or?
It depended. It depended on, it depended on who the company was and how much
Who
they
it was?
brought. But like, you can't bring 500 copies of a game that no one cares about
Yeah, yeah.
because you're gonna bring 300 of them home, even if people buy them on, on the let me go check it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unless you got a mega hit, you're not selling more than 200 copies.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it
I
was
just feel like
an
that's just a good
average.
rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is
50 a day.
people were talking about like, oh, I can't believe Devere only brought 800 copies of Rock Hard.
It's a lot of copies.
That's a lot of copies.
I'm actually stunned. Good for Jackie. I mean, holy
Yeah,
crap.
that's great.
She got a New York Times article. I'm like,
I saw
the
that.
press on that thing is just unreal.
She's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I got to talk. I was talking to her and thinking I was gonna like, have the usual like I got 2 minutes conversation, and she just kept talking, and I'm like, I'm gonna go so you can talk to the rest
Oh,
of
yeah,
these
she's
people
part of
over
the
here.
community now. I mean, as far as I can tell.
Jackie who?
Yeah.
Jackie Fox.
She's
The
the basis.
bassist.
She was the basis for the Runaways. Do you know the Runaways? Have you ever heard
Oh.
of them? Joan
Like the
Jett.
band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been on game night and stuff. She lives in LA.
Oh, cool.
She was on
Yeah.
Jeopardy. She did a game this year called Rock Hard 1970.
7.
Oh,
Seven.
that was hers.
And
Yeah.
she got a New York Times article and she's on the page, like on the paper.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
Amazing. Yeah. Good for her.
There's a Runaways movie coming out with Kristen Stewart.
No,
I
that came
think
out
that
years
already
ago.
That came out years ago. Yeah.
Did it really?
I don't think she was.
Yeah.
It was just released in Canada.
Oh no, I just saw something about it the other day.
I don't
Cherry
know if she
Bomb?
was
Is that the
portrayed
name
in
of
that.
it?
Maybe it just came to Netflix or something. I don't know.
Or was it the Runaways? I can't remember the name. Yeah, it came out a
It
while
was
ago.
like the Runaways, but it was not all of them. It was just
Yeah.
It was just
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett and
It was mostly
Lita
mostly
Ford.
about
Lita
the
Ford,
two of
probably.
them.
Yeah,
the
Joan
other
Jett,
girl.
Cherry Curry,
Yeah.
2010. Holy shit.
Lita Ford.
Yeah. Lita
I think
Ford.
that's
Yeah.
it. I don't know if Jackie was portrayed.
I
Yes,
thought there was a fourth one. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was. And so was the drummer.
Yeah. It's been a while
So,
since I've seen it.
so Jackie was not the original bass player. The original bass player is Michael Steele,
Yeah.
who was the bass player for the Bangles. And the manager threw her out of the band because she was too old.
Oh, that was the reason. Yeah.
Because they were all like 16 and 17
Yeah, they were
years old,
young.
and she was
Yeah.
like 21.
Well, anyway, game designer now.
Yes,
Yes.
but people are complaining they bought 800 copies. And the thing is, they
I
had
guess
no
they could've
idea it's
sold
going to
more.
make everybody's list.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is the only game they had come out.
Yeah, they had a lot of games. They had what else? They had some other big games.
So they had Salton Sea, they had Sand,
Salton
they had
Sea.
Cities.
Yeah.
Were all of them were selling.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of other ones too. But like their booth, if you looked at their booth, you were like, where the hell are the games? Because it was mostly demo tables. But they also had a room.
Right.
So
She was in the room.
Like in the hall, they had in the hall, the booth they had like 5 demo tables, like for quick demos. But in the room, they had events that were demos that were free, but they had tickets for them, like 2-hour session. But they had retail in there too, so they sold 100 copies each day in the room at 9 o'clock, and then 100 copies at the booth.
Yeah, they also had Cities, which was another.
Yeah,
that's a Phil Walker Harding.
Cities, and then like
Finn.
And then Sand did very well for them there.
Yeah, Salton Sea. Yeah, yeah.
But like they didn't have like stacks and stacks of games. Like they literally had 100 copies of Rock Hard right by their checkout register, and then everything else. It was like they kept putting more out, but there was like 10 copies sitting on the table.
You can store in the back. You can buy like a cage in the back.
Oh, I know that, but they had they had stuff like under the tables and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't have like stacks and stacks of stuff all over their booth.
Yeah, they probably just did refills every once in a while.
Yeah.
So they brought 800 copies of Rock Hard.
800 copies.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
800 copies they sold. How many more copies they brought and gave out or whatever? That's a different story. But
Wow.
200 a day they did.
Well, interesting that that's a risk, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess they maybe had the felted.
The funny thing was how she signed the games. So have you seen the cover?
Yeah, on the butt.
What? So she signed them like as if it was a tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's clever.
Yeah.
I see.
That's fun.
I mean, I'm guessing that's her on the cover, like her,
For
is
likeness.
that a base? I can't tell from the back.
No, I think it's a guy actually.
Is it a guy? Can't really tell. No, you can't really tell.
Right. It's supposed to be like sort of androgynous.
It's
kind of thing,
yeah.
but-
She ran a couple Parsleys for us. You know what Parsley is?
Mhm.
Where it was a rock band, and we were all part of the rock band, and we had to like get through the adventure. I forget the name of it. It was God, what was it? No, I forgot what it was called. How could I forget this? It was during that pandemic.
Has anybody checked out the Cosmere RPG?
No.
The Brandon Sanderson's.
Oh yeah, what a year that guy's having.
Yeah.
Pardon?
What a year that guy's having.
Yeah. So we did the initial book, like layout concepting kind of thing. And then like just like very beginnings of it. And like, so I have a vested interest. Like it's at 5.5 million.
I know everything he touches is just turning into gold.
Oh, speaking of your work, Matt, I got to see Luthier up close and personal. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
It looks even better in person.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty special. Actually, it's ending. This Kickstarter is ending in like 8 hours.
Oh, it's still going. I thought it
Yeah.
was done.
I need Lance to come back before I talk about it. Have you guys seen the Arkham Horror RPG?
Yeah, what's that all about? Is it
Briefly,
based on the card game?
So it's the story that's in the base box is the same one as the card game. But here's the weird thing about it. There is no character creation.
What?
Do you just have to play with the characters they made?
The base box has no character creation.
Is this
They
announcement?
have sheets for the investigators you can play as with the same characters from
right from
the
the
board
from the
game and all that.
Fuck that shit.
And because they're like, and like I've watched a couple of reviews, and the guy's like, he likes the system and everything, but he's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Night Force.
there's nothing in here for character creation. And he goes, and that is the part of RPGs that is
Yeah,
the
what-
best way to learn the game.
Why
Like to learn
why
what
would
to,
you?
I don't know. It
Yeah.
uses a dice pool system. So you get 6 dice
Yeah.
on your turn, and like if you lose health, you lose dice. If you
Are
have
they all D6s?
what? It's all 6 D6s.
Yeah.
And if you have like insanity loss of points, you have to roll another die. And if you roll a 1, then you can take some other thing. But there's got like slide puzzles. It's kind of like playing Mansions of Madness
Oh boy.
kind of thing. It's just
Oh,
really
that's a real
bizarre.
bummer. Then I was kind of looking forward to looking at it.
Lance,
What's up?
we just started talking about it. Did you see the Arkham Horror RPG?
I took a look at it. I wasn't impressed.
There's no character creation in the base box.
No, there isn't.
You have
Like
to
not
buy
that
an expansion
not
for
that it gives
or
you
is it
starters,
just-
because everyone gives you starter characters now.
It's
Yeah,
supposedly
you just-
out. Is it released?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just continue playing Call of Duty. So I made my daughter do a COVID test, and I just found out she is also negative. So
Is
nobody
she
got
not feeling
this.
well?
She had con crud.
Bye,
So,
Matt.
See you guys. Thanks.
See you, Matt.
See you, buddy. So anyway,
Well,
happy
Lincoln
to-
tested positive. First
I
time.
I know, and that
4
sucks.
4 years of masks.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Did it?
crazy.
Hopefully it's
That'll
not
learn
hit
'em.
too hard.
I don't know. He said he's got a fever and he's got sore throat. Told him
hope
to
he's
get
okay.
Paxlovid. Hopefully
Yeah.
hopefully it's mild.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
hadn't had it yet. And I don't think Nikki, I'm not sure if she's got it or not. But so far no.
Well, he's the second person I know who was wearing a mask almost the whole weekend and got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
masks are not going to protect you.
Eric Summer got it too.
No.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mask was great if you got it and you don't want to give it to people, but vice versa.
Right.
People got it and
Yeah.
you're in your face. They're not. It's going to be hard to get away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3 people on on the team now that have it. The
Yeah.
2 Johns have it.
Oh,
Well,
that's-
masks,
John
you
and
know,
John.
you know as well as I do. Masks just make you breathe in your own, so they don't do anything.
Okay, I'm making a list of everyone who gets it, who I counted. So Lincoln and both Johns, I spoke
Yeah,
to.
Lincoln and 2 Johns, and I don't know if anybody else has got. Nobody's told me they got it if they got it. Well, Lincoln obviously. I think
Well-
everybody else is okay.
And I had multiple people tell me, like, reach out to me afterwards, like, hey, I know that, like I talked to you or I gave you a hug or whatever,
Yeah,
and I
and I've
tested
got COVID.
positive, could you please test yourself and let me know? And I'm fine. Thank goodness, right? So, and it's just one of those things. It sucks. It sucks that
Yeah, it's
people
with
are
us
getting
forever.
sick.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Well,
be a career.
and the thing is, and I know it's like, I mean, people are still going to get really, really sick from it, and people are going to die from it as well, right? But it is one of the nice things about viruses is that viruses are with us forever. Is that they do, as they mutate and change and whatever, our bodies adapt and grow more used to fighting it because you get exposed to it, you get exposed to it, you get exposed to it, you get exposed to it. And it's just,
Except when long COVID hit you.
wow, if you're gonna believe
So-
everything you read.
So Lance, Jen rubbed it in my face that it was the airborne she made me take every day that kept me from getting.
It could be.
Well,
16. I told you to make it airborne.
Yeah, I bought this big 100-pack of Airborne at BGCon and I didn't take it a single time. I forgot
Oh,
to
no.
take it here at home.
Did you?
Well, I'll say this. At Origins, I sat around, sucking down your
My vitamin C drops.
vitamin C drops the whole time. Came back, no crud. Same thing again. I was eating vitamins. I was just like had it like 3 or 4 in my pocket and just like, just sucking on a vitamin C drop while I'm just sitting there talking to people about the games.
So Lance, am I the best buddy to have in a booth? I had
No,
snacks.
I mean the best
I had snacks and candy.
way you have in a booth is the guy who's handing out $1,000 bills. But
Okay.
Well,
you're
yeah, who's that
you're
guy?
a close second.
Who's that guy? Shane?
Well, I don't know. I want to find him.
All right, am I the second best guy?
So did you guys
Well,
went
the
to
second
hot
best
games
guy
room?
with the guy. No, yeah, you're the best guy.
Did you guys went to the hot games room but didn't play anything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would you just talk?
Yeah,
Take up
like
space.
people. Me and Derek and Steven hung out.
We sat at the reserved for
You
BG.
took a table that didn't play a game.
Yep.
Good use
No,
of
way
those.
to do it.
No.
VIPs.
We sat at the reserve for BGG staff table. We didn't
Yeah,
take
Yes.
one
with
of the
Derek and
tables
with
to
Derek.
stop people from
Oh,
gaming.
and then we what
Oh,
game
game
did we
table.
took? We took a look at a game. We were like just perusing a game to see what it looked like.
Looked at a game.
We know what we
Well,
do next year,
that-
Scott.
Those are hard to get. That's a ticket. That's hard to get.
All right, so Scott,
Whatever.
the thing I sent you, we really need to do that.
Well, I forget what you sent me.
The lifetime VIP.
Oh, a lifetime
Badges.
VIP badge. Didn't we
What
try to
was
do a
that?
lifetime No, I sold lifetime VIP to BGGCon for Tom's charity that one year his son died.
No, we just need Gen Con Hot Games Room VIPs for life badges.
What was the God dang? What was the game we wanted to look at that was there?
Never mind.
The
Uh,
I will say that I know it came up big on the list, but like Rock Hard, I walked by the people who were playing Rock Hard, and then I walked back around past their table. They were just finishing up at that point, and they literally, I said, "You guys like it?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Do you want to play it?" Like they were gonna walk back with me to.
Oh, they were gonna do a handoff. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
that's cool.
Sure. I mean, I wish there was we can get more copies, but whatever. How do you know what's going to be the hit? You can't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's up?
Sometimes I know, but not always.
Oh.
This year, I would not have predicted that Rock Hard would have been the hit.
Really?
Slay
I
the
hadn't
Spire was apparently played the whole time too.
Really? I hadn't even
Check.
heard of Rock Hard until I listened to the BGG podcast.
Yeah, what were the
Yeah, so that's
what
what
was the
your
number
wife
one
told me.
games? Actually,
Yeah, I was just going to ask you
I
that.
posted the checkout stats. Let me find them.
But they were
When
literally
we were talking to
on
Jenna. I lost it.
everyone's anticipation list were Rock Hard, Cities.
River Valley Glassworks had 6 copies. So
That was another one
got
on
played a
everyone's
lot.
list. Gnome Hollow.
let's go to Japan. Landmarks.
Yeah.
Did you guys play Landmarks?
No,
don't even know what
I've
Landmark
seen it
says.
though.
Arcs
That's the Floodgate new one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want that Landmarks game. Where you're trying to get across a map.
Yeah.
The gang, Arcs, Biomos, which I predicted a year ago. I wanted that game. Charcuterie, which that's
Yeah.
great for them.
Yeah.
AI Space Puzzle, Gnome Hollow, Things in Rings,
Oh yeah, I
Panda
played that one.
Royale. What is Panda Royale? Nobody talked about
It's a
Panda
game
Royale.
with pandas in it. Of course
Last
it got
Night
taken out.
Games, it's called. Assemble your team of pandas to win this dice drafting battle.
Ooh.
It's
And
only like a
Royale.
20-minute game, so
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quick games. Comic Hunters, of course. Harvest, Slay the Spire. And then we only had one copy, and that was 40 times played. And that's a long game. Hi-Fi, Spectacular, Captain Flip, Intarsia. Who's Intarsia? That's
That's
a deep
Pegasus
print
Spiel.
game. Deep print. Oh yeah, Pegasus. Michael Kiesling game. How did I totally missed this. Assemble a valuable parquet floor with beautiful wooden ornaments. Interesting. Cascadia Rolling Rivers, Dungeon Cart, Hamster Roll, it's back. This game is killer. A Message from the Stars, Cities, Donut Shop, Bomb Busters, Aguada, Aguada, I don't know how you say it. Sirens, Yokohama, Boop at the Halls, Kyoto no Nico, Nestlings, Mycelia, Oh My Pigeons, Decorum, Quartz, Cafe Barris, Tir Nanog, Forges of Ravenshire, Harmonies. Yeah, a lot of 20s. And
Yeah.
we're in the 20s. Nocturne, Skyrockets, Stock Exchange, The Mandalorian Adventures, Zoomies, Lore, Parks, Roll and Hike, Windmill Valley, Cascadias, Rolling Hills, Middle Ages. There. Oh, Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs, and In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. Anyway, a lot of games.
Yeah.
Those are all
Did
20
anyone
pluses.
see? Did anyone see the game? It was their first demo, I think. String Theory.
I saw it. Yeah.
That thing looks ridiculous.
What is that?
It's basically they're hex tiles with these like spools on them,
I see it.
and you get actual string, and you
Yeah, and you
string together
Uh,
all these
connection.
conspiracy theories.
Okay,
uh,
fun.
was SETI there or no?
No,
In demo.
No.
Demo.
In demo?
Yeah,
Probably had
it
it in the
Okay.
room.
releases at Essen.
Yeah, it didn't release. It just demo.
Yeah.
But they did have Little Alchemists, which apparently was pretty popular.
Hmm.
Although I don't know, but in our room it was popular. Was it on the list? I didn't even remember that game.
well, so the other thing that was the Christmas boop
Yeah.
sold out every day fairly quickly. They sold a ton of copies of regular boop. I know they sold a lot of copies of the hi-fi game.
Hi-Fi.
Lincoln and Nicky changed my mind on that boot game, Scott. I watched him play that on game night. I think
Changed
I want to
mind
get it. now.
positively or negatively?
Yeah, positively.
I talked to Scott. I talked to Scott Brady. I'm like, I was like, "How's your hand?" He's like, "It really started to cramp up." I didn't. I
Oh, he
joked
signed him or something?
around. Like he went there, and everyone like he went there when they opened in the booth to sign the Christmas ones, thinking I'll sign a few with the people who buy it. Didn't realize how many people were going to be buying it in that first 45 minutes he was planning on being there, and he ended up like signing like
That's
almost
amazing.
every copy that was sold.
Super cute.
They sold 300 and something plushies,
Wow.
Oh, really?
new plushies,
Good. That's a good idea.
because they
Yeah.
brought like I think they said they brought 400, and I think they had 16 of them left
Yeah.
at the end of the show.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you guys see the Cat in the Box cat? Was
The
that
cat in the box hat they had in the booth, $50.
Yeah, I almost bought it, and I was like, I'm not gonna play it probably. So
Oh, the big box?
yeah, it was definitely like
$50 for a card
I
game.
hesitate to say this.
It's a steep hill.
I hesitate to
Yeah,
say this. If I had seen Ted there, I would have tried to schmooze him for. And then I would have,
Tradey trade.
yeah, and then I would have felt bad about like I don't know. It's just
No,
like,
you would have got over it.
but yeah, I was like, I definitely wanted to. I mean, but I was like, because it's a really good game, but what am I gonna play? You know, it's just it's so good, brilliant.
So I will tell you one cool thing that they did with the gang was we went over to talk to them, like to see how many copies they were going to have. And I was like trying to figure it out because they were like not real close to where we were, and my Art wanted it. I wanted a copy, and so I went over, and I'm like, I'm working in the booth. Is it like? I know there's no way you're gonna sell me a copy. And she's like, hey, we can't. We sold everyone. I said, she's like, but here, and she hands me the mini expansion for it. And she's like, here, just take this. And then, if you can get back online, if not, you can just buy it on Amazon for like, I was like, okay.
$10. It's
Yeah.
cheap, right? Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's a
like
deck of
50
cards with
It's
some
$15 game.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
simple
So
card.
I went back to the booth and I
Poker.
told Art he can go get online when they open. I said, I don't know how people are gonna be running over there, but like keep an eye on it and get on so you can. And all of a sudden he looks up and he's like, oh crap, and he's running over there. But he got it and got back to the booth like 5 minutes after the hall opened. So I was like, okay, fine.
You play anything at the con, Evan, or
Not a lot. Just mostly walking back and forth from one end of the hall to the other, trying to catch
Yes.
up with people and say hi.
Just showing off all my games, not to Gray Fox though, because we're not cool enough to publish you. We can only publish you once.
well, he's got to wait 6 years to get it published. What do you
Yeah, who wants to wait 6 years? I mean, come on.
Hey,
Evan's hot, man. Have you played that game he sold to 25th Century?
Oh, the Druid game?
You're gonna be sad you passed on that.
No,
He didn't even,
Lance.
probably didn't even show it to us.
I have anytime Gray Fox wants to publish one of my games, all you guys have
Give
to
5
do
refresh review.
is say so.
We'll publish that game in the 21st Century side.
Well, that's already signed.
Too late.
Well, yeah,
You can't wait
just
till
leave
somebody
your-
else
say,
wants
anytime
it.
we want to
6
do it, we'll
years.
let you do it.
6 years
That
seems
doesn't
like a
sound
really
like
long
it
time.
at all. It doesn't sound. That sounds like revisionist
This decade
history.
would be cool, but like
Yeah, really.
I got things to do.
Everybody's a critic.
When's that real time strategy game coming out? With the, not real the space game. What is that called?
Oh, the pinball one?
Yeah.
Oh, I was pitching that.
Did anybody pick it up?
Well, it's not signed, but we had some good interest. We'll see.
Some interest.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
There was this.
I
Very
think
nice,
it could be a challenging one because you need physical production.
sure.
Big
Yeah.
production. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's got Kickstarter millionaires all written all over it, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I'm stoked. We'll see what happens. But
There was.
I
this,
hope so.
There was this very nice lady who came over like in the middle of like the busiest time ever on like Friday, and she's like, oh, it's like, are you taking pitches? And I said, well, I said, now is like the worst time, but if you want to come over and, if you want to come back tomorrow, like between 10 and 11, it's usually kind of slow at that point. So but I've got everybody here, so I'd have some time. She's like, yeah, sure. She came back the next day. I can't remember her name. Very nice lady. She's been published before. And before, she said, oh, I should ask before we start. I was like, what do you guys publish? Or what are you looking for right now? So I gave her the spiel. And I didn't even get to like the whole, and you gotta be cool with waiting 4 years. And she said, hey, let me just stop you right there. So I don't waste your time and I don't waste mine. I don't have anything that would fit for you. And she said, but if I ever do, and then I suggested a couple places to go and show what she had off, and she thanked me. And then after I got back from Gen Con, she wrote me an email and said, thank you very much. You were very, it's like, I hope someday that I have something that fits in you guys' wheelhouse. And I was like, that was just nice. She was like very upfront and just like, yeah, I'm not gonna waste time, because how many people are like, oh yeah, let me show you
Yeah,
this.
they want you to hear all
Right.
their amazingness. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like I had, we again, I don't know if you talked to Lance, but I talked to several people who, the board game club at the school that they run, and like one guy, I just said to him, I said, look, here's the thing. While I believe that the kids would love this game, this game is nothing but a headache for you. I said, because it's campaign. Your board game club is an hour and a half
Yeah.
tops.
Well,
I said, so you're gonna get 4 kids who play it and other kids that want to play it, but those first 4 kids want to finish the whole campaign. I said, it would never work anyway. I said, and then the other problem is, I said,
Oh,
you know, there are so many schools that have clubs.
Yeah.
You can't say yes to everybody, and then if you say no to somebody, like it's like the whole Derek Jeter signing autographs. Didn't sign autographs because I can't sign for everybody, and I don't want you to be the person who didn't get an autograph, and then you're upset with me for it. And he was like, "Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense."
did anybody check out Elder Scrolls from
No.
Chip Theory? Okay, I saw the demo. Well, the pitch, not the demo. Perfect game for me. It's maximum 6 hours. Like it's a 3-part campaign. It's a campaign of like 3 parts, and they're 2 hours each. 2 hours.
Right.
So it's like, and then you come to an ending. And it's not like it's a meaningful ending apparently, and then you can start over with different characters, different race, different class, tons of classes, tons of races, tons of quests, but it all, goes through. I'm super excited for that one. Hopefully it comes out reasonably soon.
Yeah.
They gave Candace a copy, so I'm like jealous.
Uh,
Like okay, she sent me a picture. It's like in her bag. I'm like, oh my god, killing me. Anyway,
You
I
can
was
just
wondering if anybody actually
you
saw
can
it.
just peel a couple dollars out of your pinball fund. You probably
yeah,
get a
Scott.
copy.
I bought the
It-
game. What do you mean? I can't get it early. They're not gonna send it to me.
Don't they know who you are?
They
Don't
don't.
they
I
know
don't.
who you are?
I don't. No, I'm not an influencer. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't
Candace
own
is
his
an
shit.
influencer. They
Do
should
you
send her
honestly
a-
think that if you took the time to post a thing where like if you posted something on Twitter and said Scott Alden, CEO of Board Game Geek, hey, I played this, it's pretty awesome. That would move the fucking needle.
I don't think
People.
anybody cares. No, I really don't. Do you?
No.
I mean, you guys pay attention to me, but nobody else
Wrong
does. Come on.
again, Scott.
Okay.
But anyway.
By the way, also
Yeah.
Twitter. I hate that site.
Uh,
He's suing. This is the best lawsuit. Suing. He's the Twitter company or X, whatever, is suing
Right.
the GARM, I think it's called, the something association of advertising media. I don't know exactly what it is. Because they're not advertising. They're organizing a boycott of his platform. So he's suing them. There's a press conference with him saying, if you don't advertise with me, F off. Like it's literally on the video.
Yeah.
He was being interviewed by the guy from CNBC.
yeah.
Like,
Wait, did you hear how the interview started?
No.
He basically says to him, he goes, "You're a user of the X platform. That's the only reason I'm here. Because if you didn't use my platform, I wouldn't have shown up."
Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Yeah.
That's the interviewer.
Yeah.
I was just like, and then so the video they posted is just hilarious. Like, oh, these advertisers are boycotting you from using the most amazing platform. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it's like, I was like, you guys told everybody to F off, and they did. And now you're suing them because they, like, what world is this? Now, I don't know if anything they did is illegal. I'm not a lawyer,
Yeah.
but I suspect they probably didn't really do anything illegal. My just observations. I don't know. They're like, oh, so much has come to light. I'm like, huh, really? Okay. Good luck with the lawsuit. But
Well,
that
it's-
platform, I
it's-
mean,
it's-
I load
no,
that
I
platform
mean-
up now and I get like nude picture. I mean, it's just off. I mean, like, what is this website?
Really?
Lawsuits like
Yeah.
that are just made to make them spend money. That's what it is.
Of course,
I mean,
yeah.
It's
They just want to
it's not-
harm. Yeah.
It's just I mean,
It's
it's
harmful.
not. And then so people after him, after that one, like, well, I don't have freaking $78,000 laying around to pay for a lawyer. I mean,
Well, it's an association, right? This association they're suing.
His basic claim is that they're forcing everyone who's in the association
Right, to not
to
advertise.
not do it. Like,
Yeah, it's like a massive
their
boycott.
decision. It's part of the association thing is you can't advertise because the people who run the organization have a problem with him, not necessarily the individual people that are part of this association.
They say it's an illegal boycott. I didn't know boycotting things was illegal, but maybe
Yeah.
it is.
Oh. Not to my knowledge, but
I was just like, I distinctly remember this interview where he was in like Andrew Ross an interview saying advertise
Yeah.
your stuff off. Like he said the words.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I will not be
So-
blackmailed with money or something like that by advertisers.
But I will be blackmailed with chocolates.
What?
Did you go to the chocolate people, Lance?
Chocolates?
I didn't go to the chocolate people, no.
Which chocolate people were there?
There was this huge chocolate thing, like just outside the vendor hall into the event hall. Huge.
Huge. And it didn't melt. So hot there.
Yeah. Actually, I just read something about heavy metals and dark chocolate. So watch how much dark chocolate you eat.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to not feed dogs chocolate at all.
No, dogs are not. They're saying they found heavy metals in a lot of dark chocolate.
Heavy metals.
Yes.
Like what kind of metal? Like lead or something?
Anthrax.
Anthrax, I'm sure.
Metallica.
Metallica. Motley Crue.
Motley
heavy
metal?
Crue.
That's not really.
Nah, they were more glam rock. I think.
Cannibal Corpse.
Megadeth.
Slayer.
You know,
Yeah.
Slayer. There you go. All right.
Uh,
I'm gonna
Off the
call
rails
it-
now. We're off the rails.
No, yeah. I'm gonna call it night because I do want to do some after boom. Just some after boom
Do you?
conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah, some dirty boom.
Dirty
But
boom.
thank you everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Well,
And then-
glad everybody made it back and had a good
Yeah.
time.
finally.
Despite the travel problems.
You were missed. Scott.
I miss going. I mean, I've thought about going back.
We probably would have played a game in the hot games.
Probably
when we
actually
were
would have
there.
played something if I was there.
you
I would
have
not
had
have allowed you
would
not to
had
play it.
You would have
I
had
would
some
not have
dumb
allowed
word
no game
game
playing.
that you could
I
teach
would have
us.
asked you.
We would have been
Scott.
playing things and rings for sure.
That was
Or
like one of,
landmarks.
one of the very few games I did play was Things and Rings.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You too.